This is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
Hello and welcome, everybody.
Hey.
It is that time again. High school football on the Oklahoma Sports Network. It's a 4A2 clash tonight at Bobcat Stadium, Blanchard, Oklahoma. The Newcastle Racers and the Bridge Creek Bobcats here in Blanchard. Josh Calloway on hand alongside my partner in crime, Billy Collier. Carson Wade on the production. Uriah Martinez up top working the camera. Billy, it's the first Friday of October, and it feels like it. It's cold. It's windy. It got late in the season, just like that, a snap.
I know. I enjoyed our 5 days of fall. It's almost what it feels like.
Yeah.
We got here, I thought, man, I may be warm or something. I had brought my coat just in case. And then as soon as I got out of the car over here, I thought, what on earth is going on? This is incredible. So, yes, it is a chilly night.
It is. It is. We text, obviously, our group message on the day of the games, especially to make sure everything's all buttoned up. And I messaged to you guys a few hours ago, it's going to be probably a little chilly tonight, so be prepared for it. I was not ready for this. I brought a sweatshirt with me. I figured I'll probably bust that out in maybe the second half. I put it on immediately.
Oh, yeah.
It is cold and windy, but we're excited for football, obviously, as always. The second half of the season starts tonight, if you can believe that. Game 6.
Man.
We're on the back end of the schedule now. Obviously, playoffs to come in November. The high school football season, Billy, feels like it's kind of in 3 phases, right? It's like September, which is the beginning of the season. You're filling things out. You're trying to find out what your team is. October is the stretch run. That's where we are now as teams try to button up everything, make sure they're playing their best ball for the last phase, November, which when the postseason rolls around. Obviously, the Racers suffered their first loss of the season last week. 4-0 start, big game, Blanchard's in town, huge crowd, 1-point game going to the fourth quarter, and the Lions dominated the fourth quarter and won the game 28-13. So, Billy, now obviously the question coming into tonight is how Newcastle puts that behind them and moves on to another, obviously, big, important game in 4A2 as we come, like I said, into the backstretch of the season here.
Well, and Coach Brinkman said this week, he said that we
I'm almost losing my notes already, Billy.
He said that, hey, we may have failed the midterm, but we feel better because now we know what to do in the final. And so
good way to put it.
A lot of the players, they weren't happy with the loss. They don't believe, and I don't believe there's a good loss. However, they saw that they hung around with Blanchard, that they didn't just get overrun by Blanchard, and so they see that they can play with them, and they're excited about maybe seeing them again. That'll be way out in the finals. But they didn't hang their heads and think the end of the season is here. I think they saw that for what it is. Okay, we saw some things we should have done better. Some of the passing should have been better. And then also you saw Blanchard come out and play differently than they have all season.
Right.
So they felt they didn't like the loss, but they felt pretty good going forward that they think they can fix a few things and go deep in the playoffs.
Yeah, last week, it's obviously disappointing. It was a huge game, and we built it up. We talked about that several times coming up to the start of the season. And through those early games, whenever Newcastle was winning big, it was this great start, but it was kind of all building toward that Blanchard game. But the thing to remember, obviously, is like I said a minute ago, it was a 1-point game in the fourth quarter. The opportunities were there. Newcastle just didn't play particularly well.
Right.
It doesn't feel like it was, we just can't, we're not at that level yet, we can't hang. It felt, honestly, more like Newcastle didn't have their fastball, didn't have their best day, and you need that against teams as good as Blanchard, a team that's hoping to contend for a title. So So a lot to play for. A lot of big games coming up. Obviously, that Tuttle game's on the horizon. We're still a ways off from that, several weeks down the road. But that's kind of the next one you're building toward. The next few weeks, Newcastle's going to be a solid favorite, and we'll just see if they can continue to, build on it, take care of business, and then hopefully in a month from now, they'll be sitting on a 3-game win streak whenever they do face Tuttle, and then hopefully it goes a little bit differently than the Blanchard game went last weekend. So we'll see how that all shakes out. Still a lot of season to go and a lot to play for, obviously.
Well, and I like the way you said it earlier. I think you're right. Here we are. We're in October. This is where you got to put your best foot forward. They found out last week that where their weaknesses are. I don't know that those were exposed before that, and they found those out last week, sadly, against Blanchard. But Blanchard played a good game. There's nothing to hang our heads about. But I think you said it best. Now they saw what's taking place. Now they're seeing where they can be vulnerable, and they're going to start working on it.
Absolutely. So we are here at Bobcat Stadium in Blanchard, Oklahoma, getting ready for this ball game, and we're continuing to break it down and preview it for you on the Oklahoma Sports Network. This is the Countdown to Kickoff, presented by Focus Federal Credit Union. For more than 65 years, Focus Federal Credit Union has continued to deliver innovative products and services to our members about all things finances by anticipating needs and delivering exceptional member service. Stop by and experience the difference with our Tri-City branch at 1097 Northwest 32nd Street in Newcastle. Member NCUA. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, Bill and I will talk about the Bridge Creek Bobcats a little bit, a program that's in a bit of a rebuild under head coach Larry Spangler as they try to turn this thing around and build it up. Another one of these Tri-City matchups for Newcastle, and we'll outline our keys and what we think the Racers need to do to get back on track and back in the win column tonight here in Blanchard. We'll be right back. This is the Countdown to Kickoff Newcastle Racers pregame show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
So that's Will, and that's Tim. And the farm has been in the family now how long, Tim?
100 years or so.
You stopped counting.
Yes.
The idea that 1.5% of this country is feeding 330 million people 3 times a day.
You shut down a lot of oil and gas, you shut down a lot of U.S. ag. All of a sudden, we start paying a lot more for food, and there's a lot more hungry people all over the world.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
All right, back to Bobcat Stadium here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Newcastle Racers pregame show on OSN, getting you ready for Newcastle and Bridge Creek on a Friday night, the first Friday of October, and it feels like it. Cold, windy. I got it at 65 degrees, but you might think if you're at home, like, 65, that sounds nice, sounds pleasant.
Yeah.
I don't know what the wind chill is. Carson and I were talking about that. It's got to be knocking it down another 15 degrees or so at least.
Oh,
It
feels low 50s, high 40s out here. I'll tell you right now, man.
We're getting ready. It feels like football, though. It
That's
does feel
right.
like football.
That's
so as we get
right.
ready, this is the second half of the season officially starting tonight, Game 6. Well, you know about Bridge Creek a little bit if you're unfamiliar. So 3-2 this season, coached by Larry Spangler, the father of former OU basketball player. A lot of people may remember Ryan Spangler, who's actually an assistant here.
That's right.
Which is fun. He was a really good football player here in his time as well when he went to school here at Bridge Creek. But 3-2 this season, like I said. This is a program, though, that won 2 games last year in Spangler's first year. They're in kind of, I mean, it's basically a rebuild. It's a, taking over a program that was really struggling, not winning many games at all. And last year was tough. Obviously, if you guys remember when they came to Racer Stadium last year, Newcastle won the game. I should have looked at the final score. It was a lot. It was a big-time heavy win. And the Bobcats are still building. They're still growing this thing, but it is clearly better. I mean, they won 2 games last year. They already have 3 this year. They're going to win some games in district, I think. I think toward the bottom of the district, there's some very winnable games for them. They're off to a good start of the season, like I said. 42-0 over Lexington was their first game. They lost to Elk City 28-8, rolled over Western Heights 42-12. And then in district play, they took care of Classen 27-7. And they lost last week to Bethany 38-0 against the Broncos. That was kind of one of those, we talked about it last week on the broadcast. You know, they were 3-1. They're playing at Bethany. It was kind of like that was an opening of, we're going to find out how good they are in year 2. A little bit of okay, they still have some work to do and some ground to cover, but nevertheless, a improved team from a year ago, and I'm excited to see what they look like. Billy, for you, what are you watching for tonight, this Bridge Creek team? I thought this was nutty, too. Only has 2 seniors on the team last year. That shows you, kind of where this program is going and where it was when Coach Spangler took over. So a lot of their team from last year is back. You're going to improve just on that alone, obviously. What are some guys you're watching for, some keys, however you want to take it with what Bridge Creek brings to the table tonight?
Well, and what's incredible is a lot of the people you've seen in video and up to this point, you're going to see a different guy at quarterback. We've been watching Bo James at quarterback. It's going to be Keaton Morrow coming out. Got a good arm, throws it pretty hard.
Young guy.
Young guy, yes. And so I think you're going to see that. Their running back, their starting running back that had the first of the year got hurt. And hurt his elbow, actually came out of place. And so now they have a running back, Ryan Place, big number 22. See how he does tonight. Watch him, get to see him for the first time. You were saying that about Larry Spangler. What I really like is he started with the mindset. Mm-hmm. He's kind of come in and he's, from what I understand, he's moved people around to different positions that he thought would fit them better, and they have excelled in those, which I think tells you the level of his coaching as well.
Right.
And so I'm excited to see that. You're right, there are a lack of seniors on the team, but at the same time, when you're trying to build a program, you grab the guys that you can establish that program with, and I think that's what Larry is doing. He's establishing an attitude. He's establishing just the way they're going to go out and play. They're not easy foes anymore. They play tough. They play rough. They have pride in how they play. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how they've stepped it up a notch.
Sure.
Played them a lot of times, been in the Tri-City area for almost 20 years now. And so just to see how they step that up and how they move to that next level, playing in the same level here with the other 3 teams in Tri-City. So that's something I'll be looking forward to tonight.
100%. A couple other guys for me. Dylan Shirley is one that I'm excited to see. He's a senior, number 2. He plays running back and linebacker, one of their better players on both sides of the ball. I'm excited to see him kind of get in the mix on both sides tonight. And then I love this story. I'm excited to see him. But Jacob Ojeda, good basketball player for Bridge Creek. He came onto the football team last year. Has apparently, reportedly, a really big leg. And it's very windy out here. We talk about all the time the advantage that Newcastle has over other teams because they have Toby Batchelder who can actually make some kicks. And it looks like Bridge Creek has the same thing. So I'm excited. It may not have a lot of it because of how windy it is. These teams may not be doing a lot of kicking tonight. But Jacob Ojeda, fun story, good basketball player, and came over and signed up. It's just unique. I mean, you think if anything, it'd be like maybe a soccer player would come aboard or a basketball player comes over and is maybe going to do receiver or something like that. Come over as the kicker, and apparently he's got a leg, and he's getting looked at like at the next level as a kicker. So it's exciting. I like to see him at least cut it loose at least one time.
That would be neat. I'd like to see I'd love to see a fight out between him and Toby. I think that would be great.
Kicker duel?
Yeah. Oh yeah. 6-3 score. I'm not looking forward to that, but yes, I'm just kind of wondering what that the coach that came in goes, hey, coach. I got a guy I think that can kick field goals. Really? Does he play soccer? Well, no.
Yeah, no kidding.
What team's he on? He plays basketball.
Right.
What?
The one sport you like never kick or use your leg. I mean,
That's
obviously use your legs in every sport, but you know what I mean.
Right. But
Yeah.
no, I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. And that does take away some where we had advantage on a couple of teams already this season.
Right.
Was in special teams, and that's going to be a little bit evened out, even though we got the strong north wind.
Yeah, this wind, and
blowing
I'm
us.
certain that the fans at home can hear it whipping through our mics because
Yes.
it's a windy night. It's a breezy evening
Yeah,
here
football
at Bobcat
night.
Stadium. It seems like it's a very big, if you've never been here, it's a very big, open, flat. There's not a lot of buildings or anything, which I think is playing part of it. Because we were standing over there, getting something to eat before the game. It was kind of windy over there, but up here, like actually in the stands on the field, it is whipping through. I mean, whipping through. So that'll be something to watch all night.
Definitely watch it because I bet it's gusting 28 miles an hour or more. I mean, it's really blowing. So that's going to be something. It'll be really big who wins the toss and which way they're going to go in what quarter. So
Absolutely.
that'll be definitely something to watch out for.
100%. Take a quick look at our schedule ahead here, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings, our schedule sponsor. Wing Tuesdays, boneless Thursdays, why not any day of the week? Make it Buffalo Wild Wings, 9600 service I-44, just minutes away from Newcastle. Wings, tenders, burgers, and so much more. I mentioned it last week, but again, put a reminder into your calendar if you haven't already. We're on a Thursday night next week. We're at Hera. It's a Thursday night affair. I know it's going to catch a lot of people off guard. It's going to catch me off guard. It's going to throw me off all week next week. But it's a Thursday night game, so we're going to be in Hera next week. And then we'll be back home for what is the home finale, at least in the regular season, back on Friday the following week against Class and SAS. And then 2 road games to end the year, 2 big ones. Tuttle, Bethany to end the regular season. So, but again, Hera next week, Thursday night football. Get your mind right. Get your affairs in order.
That's right.
You're going to have an open Friday, which is weird for us at this time of year. Don't have a lot of open Fridays.
Yeah.
So we'll enjoy that. We'll have a ball game on Thursday for you next week. So that's our look ahead at the schedule presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. All right, we'll go ahead and take another timeout here. When we come back, we will look at some of the other games in 4A that we're going to keep a close eye on and continue to update you on throughout the night, as well as what else we have going on for you on OSN. And, of course, we'll continue to set the scene and get ready for this ball game. Newcastle and Bridge Creek, just a little over 10 minutes or so away here from Bobcat Stadium. Stick with us. Pregame show rolls on next right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Contact us today for a free estimate. When it comes to your home, you need someone that you can trust to keep it safe and protected for you and your family.
Vesta Foundation Solutions is your local, family-owned company that has helped many homeowners fix and protect their homes.
Our engineered solutions can take care of all of your foundation repair, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and dirt crawl space repair needs.
We take pride in getting the job done right, and you'll always be protected with up to a 75-year warranty.
Contact us today for a free estimate.
CFD. Our mission is to deliver quality dentistry by providing big practice benefits with a little practice feel. Since 2008, we've updated our look, technology, and have added new smiles to our tenured staff to better care for you right here at home. Convenience for you is one of our biggest goals, and we often provide same-day treatment to minimize your time off work. We are open Monday through Friday to serve you. Visit cfdok.com for details. We look forward to seeing you at our big little practice.
It's no secret that life is busy and you have a million things on your to-do list. Here at Community Bank of Oklahoma, we've made banking simple again. We can help you get to the important things in life, like the big game tonight.
We do all the heavy lifting so you don't have to.
Race towards us at Community Bank of Oklahoma because we wouldn't be a community without you.
So that's Will, and that's Tim. And the farm has been in the family now how long, Tim?
100 years or so.
You stopped counting.
Yes.
The idea that 1.5% of this country is feeding 330 million people 3 times a day.
You shut down a lot of oil and gas, you shut down a lot of U.S. ag. All of a sudden, we start paying a lot more for food, and there's a lot more hungry people all over the world.
All right, back at Bobcat Stadium, Josh Calloway, Billy Collier on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Getting you ready for this one, Newcastle in Bridge Creek, just moments away. We're getting very close. The Bridge Creek Band just did the national anthem here, so we are just on the home stretch here, getting ready for this one, Newcastle Bridge Creek. Another Tri-City matchup, another 4A2 tilt as we start the back half of the regular season slate. Some other games tonight that we're going to keep an eye on in 4A2, Billy Collier, Tuttle and Blanchard tonight.
Big.
I mean, that goes without saying. We're going to be we're going to be peeking our eyes in, poking in a couple times throughout the night on what's going on over there. Obviously, just down the across town or whatever,
right.
Where we are in relation to Blanchard.
Yeah, about 10
Stadium.
miles.
I'm not going to pretend to know the geography of Blanchard that well, but down the road. So that's going to be a fun one to keep an eye on tonight. Obviously, those are the two teams that are right now 1 and 2 in 4A2, as you see the standings there. Newcastle's in the 3 spot. They're taking on, obviously, tonight Bridge Creek, which is currently in 5th. Tonight, Bethany and Classen SAS are going to add it tonight at Classen. The Broncos are kind of the team that's trying to figure out what they are right now.
Right.
Obviously, we know what Blanchard and Tuttle are, and you kind of know about some of those bottom teams that maybe have a bit of a rough year. But Bethany is kind of that team right on the fringe. Like they should be a playoff team, but we're still trying to figure it out. Well, and we won't see them to the end of the year, so we don't have that. But looking forward to that game tonight. We'll see how that one goes. And then Tecumseh and Hera are playing tonight as well. That's actually at Hera, so that's where we'll be next Thursday. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that one as well. Elsewhere in 4A, there's some big games tonight, Billy. Clinton and Weatherford tonight at Weatherford. Those are two teams toward the top of that district, 4A1. Yeah. So exciting game there. Same story for Cushing and Wagner, two perennial playoff teams. Obviously, Wagner's probably the best team in 4A, at least right now. You have to defending champs, and they're really good against. You kind of have to give them the benefit of the doubt. Then Poto is at Hilldale tonight, so some really big games in 4A this evening. Anything that catches your eye there, I mean, Tuttle Blanchard's probably, I mean, that for us especially, that's a lot of intrigue with that
big.
one.
Yeah, Tuttle Blanchard's really big, and especially if you think about this. If Tuttle beats them tonight and then we beat Tuttle, you're going to have that 3-way snake, that we had that problem with. But another one
Come down to points.
Interested in there in 4A Division 1, you got Clinton and Weatherford. They're 1 and 2. And so tonight we'll decide who is the definitive number 1 in that.
And
one.
We talked about the time, and obviously we've said it since then, but it goes to show you that win in week 0 for Newcastle, 20-point beatdown essentially at home against Weatherford. That's going to look more and more impressive as the year goes on. I think, it happened in week 0, so I think the initial reaction was kind of like, oh, is Weatherford maybe not as good as we thought? I think Weatherford is really good. I think Newcastle just took it to them that day. So, and we'll see how that goes. Like you said, Weatherford is still early. Right. It's only the 3rd week of district play, but Weatherford right now is in first place in their district, like you said. And they win that game tonight, they got a vice grip on first. So it kind of just goes to show you what Newcastle did when they played, back earlier this season. That was a good win. We knew at the time, but it's looking more and more so as we go. So.
Well, and you think it just seems like forever ago. And I think you're right. I think it does seem like, okay, was Weatherford not that good? Well, they've shown that they are that good, and so that just tells you how good Newcastle is as well.
Right.
I'm also that Cushing-Wagner game. They each had an asterisk by that game. After last year, you know that they wanted to play this game. That's gonna be one of them slobber knocker games.
Right, 100%. 10 games on OSN tonight. It's a first Friday of October. We're getting to the meaty part of the season. This is the best sports month of the year, October, and we're following suit on OSN. So we've got 10 games for you tonight. Absolutely loaded slate. I mentioned that Poto-Hilldale game. We have that game. That's part of our Bravado Wireless Game of the Week, our partnership with them. That game is going to be available to be watched on OSN. So if you want to pull up a second screen and watch another really good 4A game, there you go, right there.
It is.
Bust your phone out, whatever. A lot of other good games on the network tonight, though. Lawton MacArthur is taking on Ardmore. Carl Albert is battling Southeast, Del City, and Sapulpa tonight. Midwest City versus El Reno. Eisenhower versus Piedmont. Elgin and Altus, that's a double OSN game. Muskoge's got U.S. Grant, and then Eufaula taking on Comanche in the 2A rank. So a lot of fun games tonight on OSN, ours included, and we are getting close to the start of this one. The team's getting ready to head out there for the coin toss, and then we'll get the ball game rolling. Billy, how do you think the wind, we talked about it a little bit before that last break, but how do you think the wind, does it affect anything for you if you're Coach Brickman? Are you just going to try and pound the rock tonight? Because it's probably the windiest game of the season. I mean, it's very, very breezy out here.
Well, and you think about the passing game last week, wasn't real bright. I think if the wind's behind your back, you're going to try and use that a little bit, and I know Brickman likes to even it out, having passing and rushing. However, I think you're going to see them run and run and run and run until it gets stopped, especially if they're going north into the wind. You're going to see them really running the ball. I talked to TJ Bradford this week. He is really seeing the role he needs to play in being a strong runner, and so he is seeing that that's his job to hit. And then, of course, you got Burchett right behind him, also hitting as well. So I think you're going to find, if you're Brickman, especially if they go north first, you're going to see a lot of run game. Hopefully that'll open it up. Also, I think it will shorten the passing game, because if you try and throw long into this wind, it's just going to die up there in the air and fall straight down.
Yeah, the wind is going, I'm terrible with cardinal direction. Right to left on your screen, you'll be going right into the wind. So when you're going from our left side of the screen to the right, it's going to be, Jackson Burt's got a big arm. He's going to have an extra 10 yards or so on those deep balls if he wants it. So coin toss was won by Bridge Creek. Like, they deferred to the second half, if I caught that hand signal correctly, which means we'll see the Newcastle Racer offense on the field first when we get this one going. All right, we're going to take one last time out here, and then we'll have the ball game for you. Newcastle Racers, Bridge Creek Bobcats on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Kickoff next right here on OSN.
So that's Will, and that's Tim. And the farm has been in the family now how long, Tim?
100 years or so.
You stopped counting?
Yes.
The idea that 1.5% of this country is feeding 330 million people 3 times a day.
You shut down a lot of oil and gas, you shut down a lot of U.S. ag. All of a sudden, we start paying a lot more for food, and there's a lot more hungry people all over the world.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
When it comes to your home, you need someone that you can trust to keep it safe and protected for you and your family.
Vesta Foundation Solutions is your local, family-owned company that has helped many homeowners fix and protect their homes.
Our engineered solutions can take care of all of your foundation repair, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and dirt crawl space repair needs.
We take pride in getting the job done right, and you'll always be protected with up to a 75-year warranty.
Contact us today for a free estimate.
All right, back at Bobcat Stadium, just about ready to get this one going with the fancy lights.
Yeah.
Flickering on off. Pretty cool little ad here at Bobcat Stadium. You see a lot of colleges doing this now, and I imagine, Billy, we're sitting here talking about, like, ooh, look at these lights. I bet you 2 years it'll be the norm.
That's
That's how these things go, right?
Yeah, we'll be like, how come they don't have lights?
Yeah, be like, why don't their lights
with them?
flicker? That's bizarre. So we're ready to get this one going. Like I said, Newcastle's going to get the football first here at Bobcat Stadium. Bridge Creek and Newcastle. This is the first for us, obviously, with district realignment. We've never been out here before. And so new territory for us tonight here with the Racers and the Bobcats. These teams, while not the traditional Tri-City rivals of obviously Newcastle, Blanchard, Tuttle, are obviously still rivals. I mean, they're right down the road from each other. So some fun familiarity will be there tonight as these two teams square off. Make sure we thank our kickoff sponsor, which is Auto Accessories Unlimited, specializing in custom paint and body for cars, trucks, boats, RVs, you name it. Paint and body collision repair and modifications. 5600 Huetner Drive in Norman. Give them a call at 405-360-8855. Back to return for the Racers. Got TJ Bradford on the far side. On the near side is Caden Longman, number 8. Kick is away. Looks like Longman will have a look at it right about the goal line, and it goes off his fingertips and through the back of the end zone. So that'll be a touchback, and the Racers will set up shop. Quarterbacked by Jackson Burt, who's coming off a game where, obviously wasn't his best. He missed a couple open guys, a couple of really tough interceptions at untimely moments. So he'll be looking for a bounce back tonight.
Right, and I think they've really got to lay off the holding penalties.
Yeah, those were killer.
Two or three huge plays last week that were called back for holding. So I'm excited to see how he comes out. Of course, they're going into the wind, going from right to left.
Yeah.
So let's see what their run does.
Yeah, going to have the wind right in their face here on this first drive of the night. Seems to be a bit of a pause here. I'm not sure what for. Officials talking to a couple of Racer players. Now they give the whistle and the signal to go. TJ Bradford, the running back, next to Burt. 3 receiver set on the first play of the game. Handoff goes to Bradford up the middle, pushing forward, carrying some guys with him across the 25. It's been a fantastic start to the season for TJ Bradford. He has been really, really consistent and good every single week, and a good start here to week 6.
One of the things he said this last week is he's always trying to get better himself, trying to be better this week than he was last week, and things you want to hear out of a running back. And sometimes you forget he's a sophomore.
Right. Yeah, still got a long runway of his career to go. He'll get the ball again here, running hard at the middle, kind of crawl his way to the marker. It's going to be really close. The near side official is going to give it to him. I wasn't sure. He was kind of right on the 30, but they say that he got enough, and a first down for the Racers for the first time tonight.
Well, it's good to see him going hurry-up offense as well. Something we didn't see a whole lot last week, and I thought we would.
Something a little different for us, Billy. You commented on it. We are really low. I think you're right. I don't remember ever doing a game this low. It feels like we're almost field level with these guys. Handoff goes to Bradford again. So early on, we're only 3 snaps in, but question somewhat answered early in terms of a lot of run game here early. Not throwing it around in this wind, at least not yet.
No, I don't really know how you can throw it around in this wind. Everything's going to be held up by that wind. So get some good runs going in there. Looks like they still got Bradford as the only back.
Also, another disclaimer, the clock here is kind of wonky, so it's tripped me up a couple times. I think we're about a minute and a half in. Second down and long here. Burt will throw down the flat. Pass is caught by Bradford, and he's stuck. Big hit. Bradford being driven back. Didn't get him to the ground, but his progress was stopped, and they blow it dead. So a nice play there by the Bridge Creek defender. Didn't quite catch the number on that. Yeah, but he blew that play up and got a 3rd and long coming up.
Yeah, I got 3rd and 11. They lost a yard on that, and that you saw right there probably on camera how that wind just kind of held it up and let that defensive back get there.
So after that play, now you're sitting on 3rd down and about maybe a short 10, long 11, somewhere in that range. We'll see how aggressive the Racers get through the air here, you'd imagine. Running back is Trey Burchett. Burt back to pass, good pocket. He's got all day. Fires over the middle, passes. Oh, he had a man open, and he missed him. That was Aiden Elcision. Right about the stick was open and missed him. You got to wonder, first time really throwing in that wind, if that played a part in that, because it was right behind him.
Yeah, and Aiden was wide open. I think they could have lined up on that. He would have gotten probably down to the 45 or 40-yard line.
Oh, yeah. First down for sure, yeah.
But you saw that wind, and now you got Toby kicking into it.
So the Racers will punt, so a good stand by the Bridge Creek defense to open up things on a windy night at Bobcat Stadium. Toby Batchel will do the honors of punting it away. Back to return is a guy I highlighted in pregame, Dylan Shirley, number 2. Low snap, Batchelor scoops it. He got blown up in the backfield. They're going to penalize the hit as Batchelor got rocked after he punted away.
Level.
Jackson Van Hawken, senior linebacker, put it on Batchelor.
Wow.
Thankfully, he's up and all right. But that was a big hit, and they flagged that right away, and this should be a Newcastle first down.
Called it personal foul,
yeah,
so it is going to be.
Yeah, so a big mistake for Bridge Creek. You have obviously a great first stand defensively. Give up the 1 first down, which you buckle down after that. Got your offense going to get the ball back, and just an error. I mean, a mental error that he almost had the block. So it's hard, but you got to find a way to pull up.
Well, and you don't teach them to stop. And that ball, they're actually marching it off to about the 45-yard line. They would have had the ball at about the 41-42 of Newcastle.
Well, Batchelor smartly kind of rushed the punt because he could tell that with that low snap, Bobcats had some guys coming, and he got rid of it just in time and then took a big hit and drove the penalty. So a nice play by the punter, Batchelder, and it gives the Racers a first down up to the 45. Second life on this possession. They'll go back to Bradford up the middle, runs through a couple arm tackles. He'll fall forward for a few.
Yeah, that's good. They're going back to that bread and butter. They're just going to keep running it. You saw it kind of died out. They tried 2 passes there, didn't get much success. Let's see if they keep going back to the run for a while.
Second down and about 7 here coming for the Racers on this first possession that was given new life after the roughing the kicker penalty on the punt.
Watch Jordan Lane there in the slot.
Oh, fake the handoff. Burt keeps it. Nice cutback, running hard, and he gets the first down. Didn't look like he had a lot of space there, but a nice job of Burt seeing the lane and capitalizing on it, and the Racers move the sticks.
Yeah, he did a good job. Just set the foot and cut back to the left. Caused a couple of guys to kind of get out of position, and he was able to move up there and get in for a first down.
8:45 to play in the first quarter here at Bobcat Stadium. Racers on the move, down just shy of the 40-yard line. Burt takes a shotgun snap. He'll fire far side looking for Heskew on the pass there, and he missed him over the top.
Yeah, I think you had to do that. I don't know how much success they're going to have in the pass, but you got to get those defensive backs to stay back, keep them honest. I think they were starting to pin up a little bit to hit somebody. So
yeah. So the complete pass makes it 2nd and 10 for Newcastle on the Bridge Creek 41-yard line. Got to get to the 31. Got a lane in the backfield there next to Burt. Don't see this a lot. He's going to get the football and kind of a jet sweep type play. Comes around the right side, running hard, right to the first down marker, just shy of it. You know, I can't say, and I missed a game, obviously. I can't really remember Jordan Lane getting a handoff really at any game this season. That might have been the first time.
Well, and they talked big about him at the first of the season. Great hands, great route runner. I think they just are thinking going in this win, they've got to get the ball in the hands of him every once in a while, just their playmakers.
Well, early on, you know, it's only been 2 passes, but the 2 passes haven't been particularly close so far. So you feel like you may be leaning on that run game, at least for the time being. 3rd and short. We got a flag here right on the snap. The handoff goes to Burchett. He's got the first down easily and then some, but it very well might be coming back. We'll see what the penalty is. It was right on the snap.
Well, it looked like they were rushing in, like they were going to come in on a blitz that may have caught a helmet across the line.
It's been a little inconsistent this year on, obviously, normally a false start, that's a dead ball. Play is dead, but there's been a few times this year where we've seen the play go on even despite the false start. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm waiting here to see because I don't know.
Well, and you see it sometimes in illegal formation. I don't know that they stop the play on an illegal formation, be like 5 people in the backfield or something like that, covered up receiver. I think
they wouldn't.
At this level, they would still stop play. So
it's going to be a hold on the Racers. That's surprising because it was so quick after the snap. You know what I mean? That's where that becomes a little strange. So a hold against the Racers. We'll back them up, wipes out that big run from Burchett. And a 3rd and long now coming up for Newcastle.
Because of how fast he did that,
it was immediate. Yeah.
That takes it 10 yards. So from the spot, or from the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. So you go from 3rd down in about 2, 3rd and 12, obviously.
Wow.
Yeah, tough sequence there. So we'll see what the Racers do. You're almost certainly in 4-down territory at this point on the field, and now we have whistles again. They're going to have a Bridge Creek player come off. A little blood on the elbow there. That's 22, Ryan Place, guy you talked about in pregame. Yeah. He has to come off, bleeding on the elbow.
Yeah, that's a running back, and you see him in there at linebacker, so he's probably – they're needing to get that cleared up before they go back on offense.
Yeah, not a guy you want to lose on a key down. So 3rd down. And now a man jumps off sides. That's an easy call.
Get a few back.
There's Jackson Van Hawken, who committed the roughing the punter penalty earlier, jumps offside there. So he's been a guilty party a couple times.
So it seems like we're kind of stuck in this spot. Same as last week. It seemed like between the 40s. And so they're kind of stuck in this spot again. They say, oh, wow.
Okay, well, the penalty goes against Newcastle. I didn't expect that. Yeah, so it's a penalty against Newcastle. Must have been a false start on that far side.
If you can't tell, we're over here by the band.
Yeah, they're
excited.
Just all right. Yeah. They're also behind the student section. We're in a very unique spot.
We are
right now. We're kind of on the flip of where we are at home. So third down and a lot now after the back-to-back penalties on the Racers. Still in the first drive of the game. Burt back to pass. He's going to step up and fire. Got a man. It's caught. First down, Newcastle. On 3rd and 17, the Racers pick it up. Jalen Lane right at the sticks.
And that was the pass he needed to hit. He needed to hit and stick. That was a dart just straight at him. That was good job. Good job with the arm. Good running with Jalen Lane running through the route. So that was a good pickup.
Yeah, first couple of throws for Burt, pretty off the mark. That one right on the money, cutting through the wind, and a big first down for the Racers inside the 30. Now they go back to Bradford right up the middle, run through tackles. TJ Bradford carrying defenders, and he's in. Touchdown, Newcastle from the 28.
That was a good call right there. Come back from a pass. They're doing that hurry-up offense. That's what we're talking about. The run game opens up the passing game. And so in that way, they're kind of staying back and watching out, and so they're late getting to the runner, and you cannot be late getting to T.J. Bradford. So that was an excellent touchdown, excellent call by the coaching staff, just that run, and then just a power run getting to the end zone.
T.J. Bradford, we talked about it already, having a monster season. And the extra point goes through, I think, but there's a flag. What a great start to the year for T.J. Bradford. Every week he's had at least one, usually multiple, highlight plays, and there's another one for you.
I didn't see what the call was.
The clock currently reads 7 minutes and 80 seconds to play.
Yeah.
First score.
That's creative.
Well, to do the math, is it 8:20? Is that the
creative
actual
clock?
I think the wind here is giving it some fits.
Oh, yeah.
It is very breezy. I didn't see what the penalty was. They're still in the same spot, so I don't know if they picked it up. It's been a weird start to this one. 6-0, and now we got a penalty again on the extra point.
I'm not sure what's going on. Same official. So he's seeing something on that side that we're not seeing.
The scoreboard also reads 8-0, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not a reliable scoreboard, I guess, is what I'm getting at. So they're still talking it over. I don't know what's happening. This has been a very puzzling sequence. What's strange is that Batchelor's kicking the ball through, and then it seems like they're saying that Newcastle's declining it, but the play isn't counting, which doesn't make any sense. If they're declining the penalty, how have we had 2 penalties on back-to-back plays and the ball didn't move?
Right. Well,
that's what I'm trying to figure out. And the play didn't count, and they flagged it again. 3 times they've now flagged this.
Well, and they're calling it a dead ball encroachment. I'm not sure.
But what doesn't make sense is that Newcastle's declining the penalty, so the play should hold up as is. We're just doing the same thing over and over. This is incredible.
So
it's a cold, windy night. We're trying to move things along. We're hoping for a nice, tidy game. It's not happening right now.
No.
So we're going to try this again. This time they do call the penalty and accept it. Which, I mean, if you're Newcastle, you might as well. If they're not going to give it to you, you might as well move it, a yard closer or whatever. So here we go again. Try number 4. This has to be the all-time record for most extra points attempted. This time, I'm surveying. I don't see a yellow hanky. Extra point is good. Newcastle leads it 7-0. Just getting started. First drive of the game. Racers punch it home. Take a timeout. Racer defense on the field next here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
At CFD, our mission is to deliver quality dentistry by providing big practice benefits with a little practice feel. Since 2008, we've updated our look, technology, and have added new smiles to our tenured staff to better care for you right here at home. Convenience for you is one of our biggest goals, and we often provide same-day treatment to minimize your time off work. We are open Monday through Friday to serve you. Visit cfdok.com for details. We look forward to seeing you at our big little practice.
Back here at Bobcat Stadium, Josh Calloway, Billy Collier. Newcastle on the board first, 7-0. Make sure we thank our first quarter sponsors. The Racer defense gets ready to get on the field for the first time. Chris Dumb, All-State agent. Chris knows what life is like here in Newcastle. that you choose your car and your home to fit your lifestyle and your budget. He also knows how important it is to do the same when it comes to insurance. He looks forward to getting to know you and helping you find the solutions that meet your needs. Call him today at 405-392-2390. Chris Dumm, Allstate agent, one of our very best and loyal sponsors on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Kick us away and fielded here by Shirley. And he'll return it for the Bobcats across the 30-yard line, and that's where they'll set up offense. 7:19 to play here in the first quarter. So good first try for the Racers. Obviously, they were stopped, got helped out by that roughing the punter penalty, got a second chance at it and took advantage, got down the field and punched it in. So a good start for the Racers, and now we'll see what their defense can do.
Well, and I think it was a good chance for Burt to get over there, talk to the coaches. They probably talked him up a little bit, just kind of explaining, hey, you're going into the wind. Here's what you need to do. Because the passes after the roughing the kicker have been a lot different.
So quarterback for Bridge Creek is Keaton Morrow. We talked about him in pregame. Just a sophomore. Hasn't been the starter, but he's the starter tonight. And first pass a little high on the mark, incomplete. Looking for Jaden Palmer. Pass was a little high.
Well, that almost looked like a replay of last week's one of OSN's plays of the week.
Bradford blew him up.
Depleted that guy.
That was great.
And I think he was looking to deplete Palmer as well, but he dropped the ball. So
good restraint, not to still hit him anyway. Would have been a penalty probably. Tough spot, by the way, for this young lad, Keaton Morrow, sophomore. I mean, you're playing against a good defense on a really windy night. Tough spot for your first start. You're at home. Little jet sweep action here on the flip to Parker Van Sickle. Comes around the far side and didn't have anywhere to go there. He actually lost a couple. So 3rd and long coming up.
Well, that was a good tackle. You'll notice number 5 walking out. He started on the other side of the field, Bradford. He came all the way across the field and kind of cut through the blockers and met him right there for a loss of 2.
The clock is basically hieroglyphics, so I give you a time update, but I can't. It's 3rd and long for Bridge Creek. Morrow takes the shotgun snap. He will air it out. Going to go deep here. Got a man. It's caught right at the sticks and a first down. Parker Van Sickle. Morrow just kind of dropped it right in the bucket where it needed to go. A couple of racers maybe a little over-aggressive there on an opportunity to go get that ball, and it results in a first down for the Bobcats.
I think there was a little bit of a surprise to the defense whenever they saw that. I mean, that pass looked like it was not affected at all.
Yeah.
And I think they were waiting for it to kind of jiggle around a little.
It kind of just floated right where it needed to be.
That's right.
Very accurate pass by Morrow, and a Bobcat first down across the 40-yard line. Morrow fakes the handoff to Shirley. He'll fire on the flat and missed his man. There he was again. Bradford coming in hot. Pass was intended for Lathan McKnight. Just missed him. 6:21, I believe it is, to play in the first quarter.
Well, and I will be honest with you, it's probably a good thing that he missed it, because you had Heskew, you had Bradford, and you had Shanuel just drooling to put a hit on him.
I got to be honest, Coach Larry Spangler, I'm a little surprised by the aggressiveness throwing the ball in these first few plays. Windy night, young quarterback. You think he might ground and pound a little, but they've been letting Morrow throw it around here these first few plays. Don't hate it. Well, a little surprised.
I think they're trying to catch Newcastle off guard.
Yeah, caught me off guard. 2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass. Morrow back to pass. He's going to fire it, looking for a far side here. Dangerous pass. It's deflected. And incomplete. Rex Heskew had a look at that, but couldn't quite pull it in, but does get himself a pass breakup. Pass was intended for Walker Hill.
Well, and that's one thing you got to say about Bridge Creek. They have 4 receivers, and you never know which one he's going to go to. They don't just have kind of the one that they go to all the time.
Good point.
So that's going to be something that's going to keep the defensive backs on their toes. And it looks like they're bringing up 1 or 2 defensive backs to go in with to get to the quarterback for a blitz. So that'll be interesting to watch as the game goes on.
So 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incomplete passes. Morrow has it. He will fake the handoff and roll out to his right. Pressure in his face. He's going to try and dump it off. It's caught. Big hit right at the line of scrimmage. Guess who? TJ Bradford again.
Well, that's just a matter of him staying with his man. He just stayed right there. Didn't allow him to get very far. No yards after catch. So that'll bring up a 4th down and 9, but it's right in that area. Seeing what Spangler's done so far, you're not sure what he's going to do.
Good look at that hit on the Eric Ledoux State Farm instant replay. Eric Ledoux is your State Farm agent here in the Tri-City area. Call him with any insurance questions or needs you may have at 405-392-3992. And remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. So a stop for the Racers and a punt here. That was Ojeda, by the way, the punter I talked about earlier. It bounces right by the 25, and that's where it's down. And the Racers offense will come out for their second possession of the ball game.
And that was a good job. We saw the defense come out, had the one play, the pass that I think surprised everybody how good of a pass that was. That really looked good for the quarterback there, Morrow. But their defense did tighten up and kept them back.
So Jackson Burton, this Racer offense back out for the second time, starting on their own 27-yard line. Good first drive resulted in a 28-yard T.J. Bradford touchdown run. 1st and 10, the handoff is given or faked to Bradford. Burt keeps up the middle. He's got room up the sideline. Jackson Burt is loose. The big man's running down the sideline, twisting down inside the 40. A big run by the big quarterback, Jackson Burt.
That was an excellent fake, excellent run. Got through the people real fast. Tell you what, if Cooper Allen, number 19, wasn't so fast, we would still be talking about the touchdown.
5:12 to play in the first quarter. Racers on the board first and looking for some more.
You got Jalen Lane back there, too.
Burt, handoff given. This is to Jalen Lane on that jet sweep. Good call. And showing off his speed, running down inside the 30, and that's going to be another first down for the Racers. So Newcastle getting a little more creative with their run game tonight. You're seeing a lot of motion and guys coming on kind of jet sweep type plays. It's a little Miami Dolphins-ish if you've been watching them this year. A lot of kind of misdirection and deception right now.
And that's the good things you got to do, especially as we get into the division.
Yeah. Back to Bradford again. More traditional handoff up the middle here. And he's bottled up. Didn't really have anywhere to go. So good stand by the Bobcats defense on that one. Sets up a second down and long.
Now he'll step out for Burchett. I think that he's going to come in with good hitting. I think Burchett, you'll find him. So far it's been Bradford carrying the load, so hopefully some fresh legs, get some more yards.
So looks like we're at 4:10 to play in the first quarter. Again, the scoreboard here is very kind of, so if I'm sounding unsure of the clock when I say it, that's why. Burt fakes the handoff. He's back to pass. Got a good pocket. Oh, now here comes some pressure. Steps up in it. He'll fire out over the middle. It'll go incomplete, but a good job by Burt just to not get sacked, frankly, on that play. As a couple of Bobcat defenders were right in his grill.
And that was good timing. Those guys getting down there. Big number 5, Cameron Carlton. He's been real aggressive on this defense, getting back in there and stuff. I think that's the first time I saw their play kind of get broke up by Bridge Creek.
So, after the run was bottled up and the incomplete pass, the Racers are sitting here looking at a third down and a full 10. They converted a third down and, 17 or so on the last drive. Handoff goes to Birch at the middle, does a good job to make a one guy miss, runs forward for a few, but it will set up a fourth down. I got to think that Coach Brickman's going to probably go for this pretty darn long field goal in a win like this.
Right, there's no way. His punt didn't even go this far. I think you're going to see probably one of those sweeps. Look for one of the Lane brothers being in the backfield. I think you're going to see one of those sweeps.
And that third down call also kind of suggests going for it on fourth down. You run it to make the fourth down more manageable.
Right.
And so that's where they're at. We'll see if they can pick this up. Got to get to about the 19-yard line. We'll see if they can get there. Fourth down. Burt takes the snap. Got Birch up the right side. He's going to fire a little slant route. It's caught by Lane. Makes the guy miss. Cuts back, wrapped up at the 15. That'll be a first down for the Racers in to the red zone for the first time, which is brought to you by Trinity Restoration. I'm trying to get my papers. The wind's not helping me. Trinity Restoration, top quality roof repair and restoration. Call them at 405-695-7040. Thank you, Billy, with the assist.
No worries.
First and 10 in the red zone for Newcastle. Handoff Bergen up the middle. Just a sea of bodies, and he's wrangled down for a short gain.
Yeah, that's big number 68. First time we've called him tonight for Bridge Creek, Anthony Enriquez. That's a big fella. He could almost have 3 numbers. But you can see him up there, and you're getting into the red zone now, so it's going to probably
like
be a little bit tougher.
112 or something?
Yeah, that's right. 168.
Slip a little extra one in there. Why not? Second down and long. Fake the handoff. Bird will keep it himself, running hard up the gut. Falling forward. Getting near that first down marker. He's inside the 10. Looks like they're going to mark him just short, but not by much. Third down and less than 2, maybe 1.5 or 2 or so.
Well, and they're taking control of that line. They're having to bring their linebackers up into those holes a little early, and that's one of those things I think they're finding in the Lane brothers going on the end around. Their linebackers are already caught in a hole and can't get around to them.
Under 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. Pretty quick moving quarter even with the flags. It's only the third total possession we've had. Burt, man falls down, slant route pass, diving and incomplete. Looking for Aiden Schumard and just off the mark, incomplete. And now you got 4th down and short.
Yeah, he had a little sauce on that pass there.
He did. That one had some steam coming off it.
It did. So I think he was making sure the wind didn't take this anywhere, and just barely off the mark there to Heskew.
So 4th down and short. The Racers are going to go for it again here. They need maybe a couple of yards at most. Got Heskew at the bottom. He'll come a little closer to the line. The running back is Bradford next to Burt. They'll go to Bradford up the middle, running hard. Looks like he's got it, and he does. Just shy of the 5-yard line. Didn't get it by much, but he got it by about a yard or so, and the Racers move the sticks. It'll be 1st and goal.
Yeah, that's a good, solid run. You could tell he just wanted to go and get forward. Yeah. Almost had the Eagles kind of look to it, even though it was a running back and just everybody pushing forward.
Well, that was one of those spots where Newcastle, you kind of just feel like they're not stopping us from getting a yard. You know what I mean? Like, let's run it up. And let's not get crazy. Let's not get cute. Let's run this thing right at the gut and pick this up. So 1st and goal. Got Jackson Shanuel in. We see this sometimes, some special packages with him at quarterback. And here he is running it to the right side. Cutback move. Shanuel to the goal line, and he's in. Touchdown, Jackson Shanuel. And the Racers are on the board once more.
And that was a great call again. I'm sure you could see it on the film. They had big number 77, Todd Smith. He came in there, and if he's your lead blocker, you just get behind him and just bulldoze your way through. And he did that, cut back, got across the line. It was an excellent touchdown for them. This was a good play, good progressions going down the field, really keeping their offense off the field.
So a 6-yard touchdown run for Jackson Shanuel. Extra point is driven through by Batchelder, and with a little over a minute to play in the first quarter, it's 14-0 Newcastle Racers here at Bobcat Stadium. Take a timeout. Racer defense back on the field after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
It's no secret that life is busy and you have a million things on your to-do list. Here at Community Bank of Oklahoma, we've made banking simple again. We can help you get to the important things in life, like the big game tonight.
We do all the heavy lifting, so you don't have to.
Race towards us at Community Bank of Oklahoma, because we wouldn't be a community without you.
Back at Bobcat Stadium, home of Bridge Creek football in Blanchard, Oklahoma, where Newcastle's on top on the road, 14-0. Just a hair over a minute to play in the first quarter. Good start, Billy, obviously, for the Racers. I mean, it was a little, that first drive, they got stopped, but then they got that penalty, and since then, touchdown, stop, touchdown. Can't really argue with that. As Batchelder's very high kick is fair caught.
Yeah, I don't see that very often, but you know in this wind it wasn't going to go anywhere.
Yeah, you can do some creative things.
And it was very smart of that guy down there just to fair catch it.
When he kicked it off the foot, it looked like that was going to go way out of bounds, but I think the wind kind of helped just keep it right in the field of play.
Yes.
No choice but to fair catch it, because if you didn't, they could just blow you up or go just catch the ball or whatever.
Well, and I think you're right. Before that, roughing the kicker, it didn't look like they were kind of playing on all cylinders, but since then they've been going at it on all cylinders.
So 1st and 10 for the Bridge Creek offense, and sophomore quarterback Keaton Morrow. He'll pump fake once and fire deep. Got a man down there, deflected, incomplete. That's Jalen Lane coming in and knocking that loose. I continue to be surprised by how aggressive Bridge Creek is being throwing the ball down the field.
Well, they're almost daring them. I mean, they're daring them to play aggressive back. You know, Newcastle's been aggressive all season, and you're seeing Spangler, I think he expected them to play even more aggressive and get behind them a few times, like that one right there.
So the incomplete pass brings up 2nd down and 10, 57 seconds on the first quarter clock. We thank you guys for being with us, however you found us tonight. Obviously, we're live on YouTube, Oklahoma Sports Network app, oksportsnet.com, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, app in the iOS store. Lots of ways you can find us, so we're glad you did however you did. We have a timeout on the field here. I'm not sure if one of the teams took it. I didn't see a signal for it. You said Bridge Creek took it?
Yeah, Bridge Creek took one. Their time was running out. You could just see them. I don't know if they were just resting guys or what, but that was a planned timeout. Kind of back to what I was saying, I felt like I needed to stop because they're getting ready to run the play, I thought. But you see that after that first run, after those first two passes, he's looked a lot sharper on his passes, except for the one where he almost got sacked. So I wonder if there was some coach talk over there, kind of cleared the cobwebs in the wind and told him, what he needed to do.
Right.
Also, you're seeing just run, and you're seeing different guys running different plays that we haven't seen all season. And so I think both teams are trying to be aggressive on offense, and both teams are trying to figure out, kind of like a chess match, what the other team is going to do.
So we'll see if Bridge Creek continues to be aggressive, airing it out with their young quarterback. Because it's kind of twofold, right? And why I'm been a little surprised. A, obviously the wind, and you have a young quarterback, but B, also, when you're an underdog, generally you kind of think, try to use the clock, shorten the game, total number of possessions, because the more possessions this game goes, that favors Newcastle, obviously, as the favorite team.
Right.
But so far, it hasn't been the approach. We'll see where it goes from here. So 2nd down and 10. This is Morrow. Let's see. What's this 14? Walker Hill, the receiver, catching it on a direct snap, designed to run. Comes around the right side and gets a short pickup of about 2.
Yeah, that was good speed by the Newcastle defense. They had 3 receivers kind of in a triangle spot right there in the slot. They're just trying to get around and put helmet on helmet.
Yeah.
It just looked like Newcastle's speed got them over to that side.
So 3rd down and we'll call it 9, maybe 8, somewhere in that range. Morrow takes it. He'll fake the handoff and roll out to his left. He's going to drop it off. Pass is caught. Coming around the far side using his speed across the 40 and got the first down. That's Lathan McKnight. So a well-designed play there by Coach Spangler and the Bobcats to get McKnight in some open space, and he uses his speed to pick up the first down.
Yeah, that was an excellent pass there. Just following the guy out, and excellent run. He got stuck right there by Jalen Lane at the sticks. But that was a good play. Good call.
Looks like that'll be the final play. They're coming up to the line here, but they're not going to be able to get this off. And so that is going to end the first quarter. After 1, Newcastle in good shape. They lead at 14-0 over the top of Bridge Creek. Take a timeout. 2nd quarter up next on the other side of this break on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
So that's Will, and that's Tim. And the farm has been in the family now how long, Tim?
100 years or so.
You stopped counting?
Yes.
The idea that 1.5% of this country is feeding 330 million people 3 times a day.
You shut down a lot of oil and gas, you shut down a lot of U.S. ag. All of a sudden, we start paying a lot more for food, and there's a lot more hungry people all over the world.
All right, back at Bobcat Stadium, Josh Calloway, Billy Collier, Carson Wade on the production, Uriah Martinez up top. Working the camera for us, starting the 2nd quarter here. Newcastle in front, 14-0 on the Oklahoma Sports Network. First down run here for Shirley around the right side. Got some good wheels to him. That's going to be another first down for the Bobcats. So the Bruce Creek offense seeming to find a little rhythm for the first time tonight. And they're across the 50.
Well, and that was an excellent run there by Shirley. You were talking about him, excited to see him play.
Really good two-way player.
And it looks like Spangler's got some players. They're getting up there. They're getting the blockers between the defense and the runner. And so that's something that they're playing to their advantage there, and I think you'll see that a little bit more often.
So Bridge Creek with a little bit of a rhythm for the first time, like I said. It's a first down and 10 at the 47-yard line of the Racers. Low snap, kind of bobble, but he got back, and he'll just try and make something out of look like kind of a broken play there, and he maybe lost a yard, maybe got back to the line of scrimmage, lost a half yard or so.
Yeah,
second down and long coming up.
There's Jaron Webb right there, number
Heavy
45.
J,
Heavy J taking the quarterback down for a loss of 1.
So second down and long coming up. Gives us a chance to thank our second quarter sponsor, which is Contemporary Family Dentistry. The number one goal is to deliver quality dentistry by providing big practice benefits with a little practice feel. Come in and experience the difference. 1117 Northwest 32nd Street. Give them a call at 405-387-9300. Handoff is to Shirley again. He's got nowhere to go. Racers snuffed this one out from the start. Did a nice job just kind of squirt forward and get a little bit of it back, but it's another loss for the Bobcats. Racers just were all over that. He had nowhere to go.
Right. Well, and you see that every week. He'll run about 1 or 2 around the end like that, and then the next time they try and do that, it does not work. Looks like they're having all the Newcastle players just ran over to the other side. So there may be a timeout. I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I don't know if there's an injury. I don't see anybody down. All right, I'm not sure if the Racers took a timeout there or not, but there is a stoppage of play for the moment.
Timeout on the field.
Public address said there's a penalty on the field. I didn't see it.
He said
timeout on the field? I guess we'll go ahead and take it, too, as Racers, I believe, burn maybe their first time out. They're up 14-0 here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
When it comes to your home, you need someone that you can trust to keep it safe and protected for you and your family.
Vesta Foundation Solutions is your local, family-owned company that has helped many homeowners fix and protect their homes.
Our engineered solutions can take care of all of your foundation repair, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and dirt crawl space repair needs.
We take pride in getting the job done right, and you'll always be protected with up to a 75-year warranty.
Contact us today for a free estimate.
All right, back to Bobcat Stadium. Josh Calloway, Billy Collier on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Newcastle in front of Bridge Creek, 14-0. Got a third down and long here for Bridge Creek. We'll see how they approach this. Third down and 12, looks like it's called officially. Did a man jump? I didn't see it.
Yeah, it looked like a man up front jumped just a little bit, tried to get back.
See what the official ruling is. Big call, obviously. If it's on the Racers, it makes it more manageable, and it looks like it is on Newcastle. Yep, encroachment against the Racers, so it turns a 3rd and 12 into a 3rd and 7. Certainly a lot more doable.
Right. Well, especially the passes and around the ends, they've gotten about 7 yards or more each time they did that. So we'll see how Newcastle responds this time. It was a great night of football, just a fun night.
10-18 to play in the first half. Morrow takes it. He'll fake the handoff and roll out to his right. Couple guys in his face. He'll fire a long pass, and it'll come up short, looking for Bryce Benson on the sideline there, and it's incomplete, so it'll be 4th down coming up. We'll see how aggressive Coach Spangler wants to be. It looks like they got their man Jacob Ojeda trotting out, so it's like Bridge Creek will punt it away, be okay with what they did, and try to pin the Racers deep.
Yeah, you saw some good playing there. You keep seeing big number 13 there, Keaton Morrow, their quarterback. Every time he goes for a pass, he's picking himself up off the turf. Yeah. So I wonder how much that's playing into some of this passing game.
Yeah, you're seeing them rolling him out a lot, which is usually a kind of a counteract move whenever you're not able to get your guy a pocket. So the Bobcats will punt. Here's Ojeda to do the honors. Line drive kick. Racers didn't have anybody back. It'll land at about the 20 and roll inside the 20 to the 19. And that's where the Racers will take over on offense. 10:07 to play in the first half here from Bobcat Stadium, Blanchard, Oklahoma, on the campus of Bridge Creek High School. So here comes Burt and this Racer offense back out. They've had 2 drives so far, and they've capitalized with a couple of touchdowns. T.J. Bradford, 28-yard touchdown run, and then Jackson Shanuel, kind of that Wildcat quarterback role, and he's actually in the game now. Shanuel out here to lead this offense again. We've seen Newcastle do this a few times this year. Give Shanuel full drives as the guy. They run for Bradford, breaking through some tackles across the 30-yard line. That's a first down. I kind of lost him for a moment. All of a sudden, he jetted out the other side for a first down.
I think a lot of people lost it. If you notice, everybody just kind of stopped there for a second, and then he popped out the other side.
So it's a first down for Newcastle across the 30-yard line. Under 10 minutes to play in the first half. Quarterback Jackson Shanuel pioneering the offense here.
And he's got a good arm, too, with that wind at his back.
Oh, yeah. Shanuel fakes the handoff, no keep. Up the middle. A nice solid pickup. Tackle just shy of the 40. Not a guy you really want to tackle, Jackson Shanuel. A very big lad. Tallest guy out there.
Well, and that was a great run. You know, you saw Cameron Carlton, number five, come up and tackle him, and then when they both got up, Shanuel has a little bit of height on him.
So second down and call it 4. Shanuel fake the handoff to Burchett. Rolls out to his left. He's got some room. He's going to take off with it. And he breaks one tackle across midfield and spun out of bounds just shy of the 40. Jackson Shanuel doing some damage in the open field, and the Racers are on the move again.
Well, and if they hadn't got back to him that fast, you had Caden Longman and you had Heskew over here with a lot of green. They got behind their defenders. And so he ran there. They got back there on a blitz. If they hadn't blitzed, he would have had some people downfield.
Down to the 43-yard line, 1st and 10 for Newcastle on the move. Handoff goes to Caden Longman on a little jet sweep type play. So again, you're seeing the Racers, A, working a lot of guys in on offense, getting a lot of guys touches, and then B, doing it in unique ways. A lot of this misdirection, jet sweep, kind of deception type plays. You're kind of seeing them open up the playbook a little bit tonight.
Well, did you see Shanuel with the block after he handed it off?
Well, you know he can do that. Bigger guy than most guys is going to be blocking. Shanuel keeps it, breaks one tackle, breaks 2 tackles, carrying guy with him across the 35 and across the first down marker.
Man, that was a great run.
How many yards after carry was that? 6, 7?
Oh, at least. At least.
After contact, I mean.
After the first guy contacted him at probably the 41-yard line, and then he took it all the way down, what was that, the 33? So that's 8 yards of carrying people downfield.
Not an easy man to tackle Jackson Shanuel, and this Racer offense, all on the ground right now, is marching down the field. 1st and 10 at the 33. Shanuel, this time he will throw. Far side looking for Heskew. He's got it. Good pass. Makes the man miss. Wow. Rex Heskew's down the sideline. Can he get to the pylon? Dives. Waiting for the signal, and they're going to say he's out inside the 5. Boy, Rex Heskew, yards after catch, yak, right down the sideline. Almost got into the end zone, but sets up a 1st and goal.
I tell you what, we saw it a few weeks ago. That's about the same identical play, breaking ankles there on the defensive back.
That was a great move to make that first man miss.
So that was good. Saw some speed out of him.
Very nice stuff. And so it's 1st and goal for the Racers as we run under 8 minutes to play in the first half. Newcastle knocking on the door of a 3-score lead. Shanuel already with 1 touchdown run tonight. Couldn't even pick up another one here. He is going to keep it up the middle, and Bobcats bottled that up. They were ready for it. And rare to see Jackson Shanuel get a head of steam going and not pick up something, but that's just what happened there.
Well, that was one of those blitzing linebackers at number 12, Jace Van Hocken. He came around the backside of the blocking and grabbed him from behind. But if you'll notice, there's big Taj Smith out there. That's who he's trying to follow into the end zone.
So 2nd and goal now for Newcastle. They'll try it again to the other side. Shanuel running. There's an open space. He takes advantage. Touchdown, Newcastle. Jackson Shanuel, 2nd of the night.
There you go. That was a great run. Good job. They just ran it right back in that way. I really do think that the linebackers are getting stuck in those holes. If you watch on the defense, they're playing a 43, and those linebackers come up and get stuck between their defensive line and are unable to go left to right and what we'd call lateral. So there's been several times they've been stuck out of position.
Extra point is booted through by Batchelder. Shanuel's second touchdown run of the night makes it 21-0 Racers, about 7.5 or so-ish to play in the first half. Take a timeout. Bridge Creek offense back on the field after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Back at Bobcat Stadium, Josh Calloway, Billy Collier on the Oklahoma Sports Network. All Newcastle here on the road as they lead 21-0. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns. And I can't help, Billy, but go back to think to that first drive. Bridge Creek got to stop. They got to stop, had momentum on their side early as Batchelder boots it, saying, wow, look at what happens when the wind is at your back. It goes out the back of the end zone. But to finish that thought, first drive of the game, Bridge Creek had the Racers stopped. 4th down, they're punting it away, roughing the punter. Drive continues. Racers score on that drive, and it's obviously been all Newcastle ever since. You can't help but wonder, when you're a big underdog, those are the mistakes that just kill you, and that's proven to be a tough one to swallow right now for Bridge Creek.
And a momentum killer.
Oh, yeah, massive.
You just saw the air in here just change after that.
Yeah, especially once they finish the drive off, and that's a touchdown. You're feeling like you shouldn't have given up, or they shouldn't have got. Pass out on the far side is caught, immediately wrapped up and tackled. Short gain there. Looks like that's number 10, Bryce Benson, picking up just a few.
That's a good job with Jaden Lane just right there as he caught the ball. Good makeup speed coming back at him. So that was excellent tackle. Kept him there just for 2 yards.
Nearing the 7-minute mark to play in the first half here. Of course, stick with us at halftime. You can watch the bands perform here at Bobcat Stadium. The Bridge Creek Band has just headed down to get ready for their performance. Racer Band also has made the short trip over here to Bobcat Stadium. Pass on the far side is high and wide. Go incomplete. Was intended for Jaden Palmer, number 17.
Well, and I think that was close to almost going backwards.
I thought the same. It looked like it was ruled that it went forward, right? Yeah.
Right. Well, they're on the, what would you say? They're on the 22-yard line, and that looked like it went out of bounds back. In fact, the officials are standing back there. So they may make that a lateral and back it up.
Yeah, so there's some miscommunication here because the official on the far side is back to where they were before. But you're right, the one on the near side is kind of treating it like it was a backward pass.
Right,
but they haven't moved the line of scrimmage yet.
Well, and he'd be the one with the best view of it. But it did. It looked like it went out at about the 17, 16-yard line. That'd be about 5 yards behind. Let's see where they put it.
It looked like the ball is still sitting at the 22, so looks like they are going to rule that a traditional incomplete pass.
Yeah.
It was close. Hard to tell from our angle.
Third down.
You don't see much fight out of the Newcastle coaches.
No, you don't.
So
3rd and 8. Handoff is faked. Morrow will keep it up the middle, running hard. Big hit. Bounces off. Did a good job to stay on his feet, but a couple other racers there to help out. Aiden Elcision, one of the guys in there on the tackle, and it sets up a 4th down.
We don't say his name a whole lot, but every time you look up around a play, you see Aiden Elcision. He's either there right before the play, right beside the play, right after the pass. He's having a real good season.
Definitely. I agree. He's kind of one of those guys that always is around, kind of does the dirty work a lot of the time.
Right.
So it's a 4th down, and it looks like Bridge Creek will go ahead and punt this away again. With Ojeda back to return for the Racers is Caden Longman, who's kind of seeming like he's getting more and more responsibilities with each passing week, both in terms of special teams and also an offensive role kind of growing for him. This one's going to bounce out. I think that might have hit a Racer player. It did, but he got on it. That was Jordan Lane, who was blocking. The punt hit him right in the back, but he very high awareness to get on that. We do have a flag down at about the 20-yard line. We'll see what that is.
Yeah, I know the clock was getting pretty low, almost down to a delay a game. We'll see what they call. They may just, since it's on the 50-yard line, they may just decline it.
Any hope for the wind to die down is fading because
Yes.
it is still whipping through here at Bobcat Stadium. Producer Carson's going through it. You good, man? You going to make it through?
We always sit
at halftime, you can go just sit in the bathroom for a second.
There you go. Get the blood circulating.
So the Rangers will take over on offense. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns for this Newcastle offensive unit. Jackson Burt back in there at quarterback, by the way. After we saw Shaniel pioneer that last touchdown drive.
Looks like just confusion out here.
Yeah, you saw Bridge Creek just subbed almost their whole unit. I don't know what that was.
And then you see kind of the 2 teams for Newcastle. Of course, they haven't started the play clock yet, so I'm not sure what's going on. Like I said, I saw the play clock was getting pretty low, and I wondered if it might have been a delay a game. So I don't know what the discussion is.
Yeah, there's been a few of these tonight.
I know.
Billy. There's been kind of just a lot of confusion a few times. And now here you go again. Yeah, the teams are both coming off. And
yeah, it looks like they're discussing things. I'm not sure.
So the teams try to figure it out as we are around the midway point. I think it's about 6-something to play in this first half.
Well, as fast as the first quarter went, it seems like the second quarter is creeping by. Oh, I guess it was a penalty against Newcastle.
Yep, so the Racers are going to keep the ball, but
wow.
Personal foul, okay. Don't know when that happened, but it is Racer ball. They just get backed up to the 34.
Well, that's a lot of yards lost, man. A lot of yards lost. They had the ball at the 49.
15-yard penalty, right? Yeah. Personal foul, back to the 34. So that's where the Racers will set up shop on this drive. Like I said, 3 drives, 3 touchdowns so far. Defense has done the part. Any fear of maybe a bit of a hangover after last week's tough loss, big rivalry game, hasn't been a factor tonight. It's been all Newcastle. Burt, after the fake, the handoff, man, a guy missed in the backfield, takes off with it across the 40, carrying guys with him. He's still on his feet. Ball came out at the tail end of that. And the Bobcats have it. A turnover. Jackson Burt, a couple of nice moves, and then was getting loose up the sideline, and somebody poked the ball loose, and Bridge Creek gets a huge turnover. I mean, you were talking about something that they sorely needed to try and get back in this. That would be it.
They needed that very bad, and just, you know, you got your heart goes out to him. He's wanting to get as many yards as possible and just push the defense back, but they needed that. Bridge Creek needed that very badly.
So a turnover by Jackson Burt. He fumbles on the run there, and Bridge Creek gets the ball back at the Newcastle 43-yard line. Certainly a good opportunity here for Bridge Creek that they have got to capitalize on if they're going to get back in this game. So Morrow back at quarterback here for Bridge Creek. He's done some nice things tonight. He'll pitch it out here to the outside.
There's decision on him.
He might have got a face mask. A good hard run there by Walker Hill. Made a few guys miss. And I think they might get, was it Elcision? They got the hand up high on the face mask. I think we'll see what the official call is here.
They look like they're facing towards Newcastle. So
I think I just saw the head official kind of signal face mask. Like a hand just kind of slipped up a little too high.
Well, and you're just trying to get that guy whatever you can.
Yeah.
And just unfortunate, that's where it landed.
So personal foul is against Newcastle. So a couple of big mistakes by the Racers have given Bridge Creek a little bit of life here. They're on the move on this drive. They'll be down near the 25-yard line is where they're going to be spotted now. And this is obviously clearly Bridge Creek's best scoring opportunity of the night.
That's right.
And we'll see what they do with it. 1st and 10 at the 25. Morrow gives the handoff here. Nice cutback, running hard and Picking up a couple there is Ryan Place, who we saw come off earlier with that bloody elbow. Obviously good to go now, patched up.
Yeah, that was a good, strong run. He wanted to keep going. They're doing a good job. Their offensive line is doing a good job of kind of messing up that inside area where you're not getting a whole lot, and these runners are having to bounce around to the left and right.
Under 5 minutes to play until halftime here at Bobcat Stadium. Second down for Morrow in this Bridge Creek offense. Pressure in his face, he'll fire on the flat pass. Is caught. Bradford right on him immediately, and he wraps him up and puts him down. Lathan McKnight on the reception, but TJ Bradford all over him.
Boy, and just great speed, great technique. That's a loss of 2 on that pass. One of the things I've seen all season out of these defensive backs is they have that close-in speed that we haven't seen, I don't think, in years past. And they get down there and using great technique in their tackling.
I'll tell you what, too. I mean, TJ Bradford, we've talked about him a lot because he's been so good every week. But obviously the running game is where he's most known, but his defense is really coming along. He is a special two-way player and just a sophomore still for this Racer team. Going to be really good for a while longer. Dangerous pass and a huge hit right on cue. There's Bradford, and they're going to flag the hit as he absolutely wiped out Walker Hill. I don't – you think this might be pass interference here? Because I don't really think the hit, while it was big, it didn't look like it was anything flag-worthy other than just being big.
The one who threw it was almost 30 yards away, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay. It's not. They're not flagging the hit. They're saying he got there early, and it's a pass interference. That makes more sense to me than the hit, because the hit, while big, it didn't look like it was anything. It was clean. It looked like to me.
His arm was still extended.
But they're not flagging the hit. They're saying he got there too early, got there before the ball got there, which obviously would mean pass interference. So penalties killing the Racers on this drive as they've helped Bruce Creek get down the field, and they're now inside the 15, knocking on the door of their first points of the night. Morrow, handoff to Shirley, bouncing outside. He's wrapped up and put down immediately.
Hunter Berry.
Hunter Berry, first time saying his name tonight. A nice form tackle. No gain. Actually might have lost a yard even.
Well, and they got defensive ends that are just playing smart. Like I've told you, it seems like I say it every week. At this level, you see those defensive ends get extra aggressive and run out of the play. And you see Alcision and Berry, they just staying right there, keeping it bottled up. And you saw what that does right there.
About 3:15 and counting to play until halftime here. Bridge Creek trying to get themselves on the board before halftime. They'll also get the ball to start the second half. Worth keeping taking note of. Pressure in the face here at the quarterback. This isn't Morrow. We'll have to get the name here in just a second. Rolling out to the right and going out of bounds. This is Bo James, quarterback who has been the predominant starter, a junior. They went to Morrow tonight, but James back in there on that play. And he scrambles for a short gain.
And he has a real good arm. I think that, if he could get the passes in, I think he would have that. But you saw right there the defense was all over it. He had no time to look downfield or get his feet set.
So a third down and long coming up here for the Bobcats. It'll be about 9. As the Racer defense tries to hold up and keep Bridge Creek out of the end zone. This is still James in at quarterback. I know he whistles a timeout. I think it's going to be taken here by Bridge Creek. Obviously a big play, a big moment as the Bobcats try to get back in this game. Timeout on the field, we'll take it with them. Waning moments of the first half. Racers trying to keep Bridge Creek off the scoreboard on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
So that's Will, and that's Tim. And the farm has been in the family now how long, Tim?
100 years or so.
You stopped counting?
Yes.
The idea that 1.5% of this country is feeding 330 million people 3 times a day.
You shut down a lot of oil and gas, you shut down a lot of U.S. ag. All of a sudden, we start paying a lot more for food, and there's a lot more hungry people all over the world.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
All right, back to Bobcat Stadium after the timeout by Bridge Creek. 3rd down and 9. They obviously can't get a first down at the 4-yard line. We'll see if they get there. Bo James back to pass. He's going to fire to the end zone. Hanging up there, and it's caught. Looks like he's not quite in the end zone, but a heck of a jump ball grab by Parker Van Sickle. The senior skying for that one and pulling it down. There was 5 guys down. It was like a game of jackpot. And he's pulled it in. It's going to be 1st and goal at the 1.
Well, that was a great he caught that right between 3 racer defensive backs, one of them being Shanuel, who is probably about the same height as him, but he got up there, grabbed it, and brought it down.
So 1st and goal at the 1. Handoff up the middle from Shirley. Not going to get in on this one as he's bottled up.
Handoff goes to Shirley.
It'll be 2nd and goal. So the Racers stuff that one. Not going to make it easy, and there's actually an injured man down. It's a racer down there inside the 5. Now he's up.
Lovejoy.
Yeah, it's Shane Lovejoy, number 21. He was down for a moment, but he's on his feet now, trotting over to the sideline.
Looks like he may have caught a cleat in the stomach or something. He was holding the stomach there like kind of got the air knocked out of him or something.
So 2nd and goal coming up here for Bridge Creek. As they keep the clock moving. I'm not sure at all what the time is. It's like 2 minutes and something. It's really a mess right now. I wish we had a camera on it, honestly. Handoff or run up the middle here for Bridge Creek. Flag comes flying in. I don't think they got it again.
No, they didn't.
It's like 2:18 on the clock in the first half.
We'll see what they call. I'll tell you what, if this is against Bridge Creek, that's big, and they're all walking backwards.
Yeah, that is a big call. You're right, because obviously.
Yeah, they tried that eagle.
You're sitting there on the 1-yard line. You go back to the 6. That's a big difference.
Man. So
Penalty was against the
that's
Bobcats.
Huge.
Moves the ball up to the 6-yard line.
So it is a penalty against Bridge Creek, a false start, I think it was. I never saw an official signal, but that's what kind of makes sense in that spot. So it'll be 2nd down and goal from the 6 now.
Still 2nd down and goal.
As we near the 2-minute mark to play in the first half here at Bobcat Stadium. Looks like they've got Ryan Place in at running back next to Bo James. And James went to pitch it to nobody that was there. He's going to have to just keep it himself. He's got nowhere to go. Racers blow that play up for a loss of about 4 or 5. And you see James immediately talking to his guy saying, hey, what happened there?
Where were you?
I went to hand it off to somebody that wasn't there.
Well, and they've got to score here. If they're going to, it's under 2 minutes now. If they're going to stay in this game, keep it a game, they've got to score. But you just got big bodies on big bodies up front, and they're not getting the penetration on offense that they need to get if they're going to run it up the middle.
So now it's 3rd and goal. Bridge Creek just keeps going the wrong way here. They had 1st and goal at the 1 after that great catch by Van Sickle. Now you're at 3rd and goal back near the 10. James back to throw, got some room. Buys a little time, fires to the far side, picked off. There's a flag coming in. This is Jalen Lane. He's got some room and he's got some speed. Jalen Lane down the far sideline, got one man to beat, and he's going to beat him. Jalen Lane, 100-plus yard interception return for a touchdown. We'll see if it holds up after the flag.
Wow.
Wow.
Even if it doesn't hold up, that is probably one of the biggest runs I've seen, especially from Jalen. The biggest runs we've seen all season. Just that speed to outrun everybody.
Everybody's kind of walking back. I think the flag might be on Newcastle. We'll see. Ryan Place had the angle on him, and it just didn't matter. Jalen Lane just ran by him. But I think a flag is going to wipe it out. And we'll just have to see the severity of it. That was obviously a 3rd down play.
Right. Boy, that was a huge, huge turnaround if it would have stood. Let's see what they call. He's not motioning.
This has been a thing tonight. We haven't had we've had some non-signals on key spots. And now here we go. All right, so it's a defensive hold. So wipe out the 100-plus yard pick 6 as he took it from the end zone all the way back to the other end zone.
And Jalen, that was an impressive run. Sorry.
That was fun to watch. Even though it
was.
didn't count, that was fun to watch.
I try not to yell when you're talking about it. It's hard at times.
So 3rd and goal again. So the penalty, half the distance of the goal from where they were before. So from the 10 up to about the 5. And it's 3rd and goal again. Under a minute to play in the first half. James handoff. This is Shirley going to that sideline, and he's bottled up. A great tackle in the open field by Shanuel. And now it comes 4th and goal for the Bobcats. They feel like they have to go for this.
They do, especially.
I mean, you can kick and get on the board, but what good is that going to do you?
No.
If you're going to try and win this game, you got to get in the end zone.
Well, and I can't see Coach Spangler going, all right, let's do a field goal. After the way he's played this first half,
yeah,
I would be surprised.
So 30 seconds to play until halftime, and here comes your biggest play of the first half. Any shot that Birch Creek has kind of hinges on this one right now. 4th and goal for the Bobcats. 5 receivers set. Bo James all alone in the backfield. 4 receivers set, excuse me. And now Birch Creek didn't feel great about something. They're going to take their final timeout and talk about what's obviously a huge play with 19 seconds to play until halftime. Big play here, obviously, Billy. I mean, it goes without saying, but I mean, Newcastle is obviously largely dominated this first half, but if Birch Creek can get in the end zone here, cut it to presumably 21-7, and they get the ball to start the second half, all of a sudden they're feeling like, okay, maybe we're kind of back in this thing. Whereas if they don't get this, that's a tough way to go into the locker room.
Right, that's a tough. Boy, what do you tell them at halftime? You don't get this. Started on the 1-yard line, then you went all the way back to the 10-yard line. Now you're on the 4. If you don't make it here, then that's a tough halftime speech that you're going to have to do. If they get a touchdown here, just like you said, Josh, they're going to carry this momentum into the locker room.
You take some belief with you.
Talk it up, and they're going to come out with a little bit more oomph in their feet, and this would be one of those momentum times. So it'll be interesting to see what they call, and it just doesn't seem like they're getting too much up the middle. I'd assume they're probably going to pass it.
It looks like they're going to kick.
Oh, wow.
Wow. I'm surprised by this. So here comes Jacob Ojeda. I talked about him in pregame. Former basketball star here at Birch Creek. Still is.
Right.
But came to the football team last year as a kicker. It's supposedly a pretty good one, and that was right down the middle. Nice kick there by Ojeda. And the Bobcats are on the board.
Yeah.
With 10 seconds to play until halftime. Jacob Ojeda punches that one through, and there's your light show. That's cool. And cuts it down to 21-3. And you got to figure Newcastle probably won't do much more than just
sit on
run the ball once maybe and take it to halftime.
It's really funny. That's still so new that when it happened, I kind of looked around like, all right, what's wrong?
Happening?
What's wrong?
What is this? So with 10 seconds to play until halftime, 21-3 Newcastle. Again, stick with us at halftime. The bands will perform here at Bobcat Stadium. Birch Creek Band is over there getting ready as we speak. Newcastle Band doing the same on that far sideline.
You know, you heard of dance-offs, and I know y'all can't see it on the screen,
They're
but
having
they're over there having
band-off.
a band-off there, face-to-face. So.
And then when we get closer to start the second half, Billy and I will rejoin you. We'll hit some of those scores on other games around the state tonight, including, of course, that Tuttle-Blanchard heavyweight fight. And we'll get you ready for the second half of action from Bobcat Stadium. We're out here braving the elements, shivering, so you don't have to. From the comfort of your own home.
We just serve you. That's what we do.
Ojeda will do the honors after making that field goal. I'll tell you what, that was only a chip shot field goal, but it did look good. He split it right down the middle.
It looked effortless almost.
It did. Ojeda will squib it. It'll roll dead inside the 25.
It's going to be down at about the 23-yard line.
That's where the Racers will set up. Again, don't imagine they'll do much here. They do have a couple timeouts to play with, but no reason to play with them.
Yeah, and you're going with the win, so there may be a chance.
Yeah, I mean, you could bomb it deep once if you wanted.
I don't know if that's what they'll do.
9 seconds on the clock.
It'd be really neat to watch, either Jalen or Jordan Lane, 23 or 14, just take off down the field and see how they handle this.
So we'll see what they do. Jackson Burt in at quarterback after that fumble. They're just going to hand it off to Bradford up the middle. He'll run hard, as he typically does, break a couple tackles and get about 5 or 6 yards, and that should take us to halftime, and it does. So that's the end of the first half. At the end of 24 minutes, Racers in good shape, but Bridge Creek, a nice finish to the first half for them. And they'll get the ball to start the second half of action when we get there. After 24 minutes, it's Newcastle 21, Bridge Creek 3. We'll step aside. The bands will perform here at Bobcat Stadium. Billy and I will rejoin you shortly, and we'll give you some scores. We'll get you ready for the second half action here from Bridge Creek. Racers on top, 21-3 after 2 on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
And now it is time for the Bridge Creek Bobcat Band and their halftime performance, Thor's Hammer. The band is under direction of Phil Wilkerson and Nathan Leonard with assistance from Keith Frazier, Sarah Brower, and Shaylee Gingerich. The band is led onto the field this evening by senior drum major Eva Van Vorig. Tomorrow, the Bobcat Band will be competing in the Kanawha Band Day Marching Contest. Drum major, is your band ready? All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's have another big hand for the Bridge Creek Bobcat Band. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field the Newcastle Racer Band. The Racer Band is led onto the field by Senior Drum Major Jackson Lamb and Junior Drum Major Caitlin Lewis. The Racer Band is under the direction of Ryan Siebert and Whitney Cowan. Color Guard coach is Emily Perkins, and additional staff includes Jay Thompson, Luke Baker, and Kendrick Brown. Music is written by Randall Standridge, and drill is written by Dr. Genevieve Craig. The Racer Band's 2023 show is titled Pixels. They enter into the digital world and battle through each level to achieve the ultimate high score. Ladies and gentlemen, the Newcastle Racer Band. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have another hand for the Racer Band.
So that's Will, and that's Tim. And the farm has been in the family now how long, Tim?
100 years or so.
You stopped counting?
Yes.
The idea that 1.5% of this country is feeding 330 million people 3 times a day.
You shut down a lot of oil and gas, you shut down a lot of U.S. ag. All of a sudden, we start paying a lot more for food, and there's a lot more hungry people all over the world.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
All right, back at Bobcat Stadium, getting ready to start the second half. Good performances by the two bands here, Bobcat Stadium. I gotta say, Billy, I can't recall we go to a lot of games. That was probably the most, time covered by the bands.
I think
the
so.
Newcastle band was still going until the teams came out to warm up. So credit to both bands putting on a show, entertaining the people at halftime. Everybody's cold, just hoping to get through the halftime, and I think they helped everybody do that. Some scores here as we get ready to start the second half. Teams are out there. We're going to get going in just a moment, but while we wait, a few scores in 4A2. Harrah leads Tecumseh 14-6. We'll see the Panthers next Thursday night at their place. The big game tonight is Tuttle and Blanchard. The Tigers in front of the Lions 6-0. Very low-scoring game there, Billy.
Yeah.
Interesting score there, to say the least. Tuttle on top 6-0 as of right now. And then the other game in district tonight, which was, I had it and I lost. Bethany on top of Class and SAS 24-0 in favor of the Broncos. Some other scores of note: Clinton on top of Weatherford 17-0. So the Tornadoes getting the job done on the road right now in that one. And then elsewhere, Cushing-Wagner, great game right now. Wagner 15-14 on top of Cushing. And then Podo, Hilldale, all Pirates, 35-0. Podo rolling over Hilldale tonight in that one. So some other 4A scores for you. Second half getting ready to get going, Billy. Quick key for you as for Racers. Obviously a good first half, up 21-3. How do they finish the job, get back in the win column?
Well, they got to keep their foot on the gas. They got to keep going. It is about making themselves better, improving themselves. And, two, they've got to cut down on some of those penalties. They've really got to move it and stop doing that. That really hurt them. This would be an O game if it wasn't for those two 15-yard penalties that brought them down there to the 2-yard line.
And the fumble that started it. So
That's
obviously
right.
a bunch of errors kind of being the operative thing there. Second half kickoff brought to you by Auto Accessories Unlimited. Give them a call for your custom paint and body needs at 405-360-8855. Racers booted away, and it'll be returned by the Bobcats to start. And a nice return here comes to the side. We have a penalty, though, as diving across the 35 is Jaden Palmer. And we have a flag, so we'll see where that flag is. So while we wait for the call on that, we'll go ahead and give you our third quarter sponsor. See him up there in the corner. Heat and Air Guy. I could use some heat right now. Heat and Air Guy. There is no AC unit, residential or commercial, that shall defeat the Heat and Air Guy. He's there to protect you from surprises. For all your heat and air needs, call him today at 405-305-5734. Heat and Air Guy, our third quarter sponsor tonight here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Yeah, this is the first night that heat sounds great.
I know. At the beginning, we're talking about, the air sounds nice. Tonight,
That's
it's
right.
about the heat sounding nice.
Well, that's a big penalty they got right there.
Yeah, wipes out a big return and sets the Bobcats all the way back on their own 12 as we start the second half of play. Josh Calloway with you. Billy Collier alongside me. Carson Wade on the production. Up top, Uriah Martinez working the camera on a cold night in Blanchard, Oklahoma at Bobcat Stadium. Handoff here goes to Place.
Wow.
He's got nowhere to go. Bottled up immediately for no gain, I believe.
Yeah, ran right into Jaron Webb right there.
It's not the guy you want to run into.
No,
not
it's
Heavy
not.
J.
It's not. He is muscle from knees to neck. I mean, just a square. And so he was right there. Looks like no gain. So
yeah. So call it second down and 10 after Place was bottled up. Newcastle in front 21-3, but like we said, Bridge Creek ended the first half on a high note with that field goal drive going into the halftime. Passes, fired on the far side, and T.J. Bradford got a hand in there. If he could have got just a little more, he might have been able to pull that in for interception, but he'll settle for a pass breakup.
yeah, that would have been a pick six. I think if he'd have grabbed hold of that, there was nobody out there that would have stopped him. So that was definitely a dangerous throw.
11-10 to play in the third quarter. Just getting going in the second half here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Glad you found us however you did. Newcastle and Bridge Creek in a 4A2 tilt tonight. Pass here in the flat is going to be caught. Trying to make a man miss. He does make Shanuel miss, but there to clean it up. Oh, ball actually came out at the end of that, but it goes out of bounds. Burchett, I think the one who made the tackle and got the strip. The dump off there was to Parker Van Sickle, who had that great jump ball catch at the goal line, which set them up first and goal at the 1, but then they didn't finish it and had to settle for the field goal.
Well, that was good defense. They were trying to get the helmets on helmets, and there were just more Newcastle helmets than there were Bridge Creek, so they were nowhere for that to go, and it looks like they lost 3 yards on it.
Yeah, now you're back way up inside your own 10, and 4th down and long. No choice really here for Coach Larry Spangler and the Bobcats but to go ahead and punt this away, which is what they'll do. Solid punt here for Ojeda. Longman, the man back there, fields at the 40, runs back to get himself some more room. Nice cutback, and now he's down the sideline. Nice return, making something out of nothing for Caden Longman. And the Racers will be set up in great shape on about the 35-yard line or so. We'll see where they actually give it to him, but somewhere in that area. First and 10.
You could see that on the screen. That ball was being played with up in the air, and he was having a hard time getting underneath it. And it almost looked like it went back towards their end zone when he caught it. So that was a good catch by him and a good play, good cut.
10:14 remaining.
So with 10:14 to play in the first half, wow, my brain is getting cold, Billy. Third quarter, not first half, not even close. Third quarter, it's 21-3 Newcastle and get the ball back. So here's Burt and the Racer offense. Low snap, fields it, hands it off to Bradford. Just pinballs off a couple guys and gets a few.
Yeah, they definitely
got to imagine we'll see a lot more of this. Sorry to cut you off there, Billy. We'll see a lot more of this kind of ground and pound. That's kind of been Newcastle's best offense tonight, but especially with the wind and just you're up big trying to just kind of salt away that clock a little and keep things moving.
That's right, and if you notice again, you had white jerseys on the line that had made movement been there, and so good job by the line.
Third quarter handoff up the middle. This is Bradford again, breaking tackles and wrap down right at about the 20. It looks like they're going to go ahead and give them the first down and back into the red zone again, the Trinity Restoration red zone, as Newcastle looking to add on to their already 18-point lead.
And you can almost see that methodical approach that they're having, running their game, seeing what's good, seeing how they're performing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good job by them.
Under 9.5 to play here in the third. Burt faked the handoff. Runs to his left, thought about dumping it off. Instead, he says, I got room, I'll keep it.
Ooh.
Up and under tackle there, but it's going to be a good run. Another first down for the Racers. That was a good job by Cameron Carlton, the man on the tackle there for Bridge Creek.
Well, I'll tell you what, if there's been a bright side for Bridge Creek, Cameron Carlton has just been around the ball all night.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the one,
right.
And I think he's the one that may have run into Toby Batchelder at the first, but he has just been around the ball and very aggressive.
So first and goal at the 10. Burt will fake the handoff and keep it, but swarmed by blue jerseys. Nowhere to go. It'll be no gain, maybe a half yard or a yard or so at most.
Well, and he did a good job of holding on to that. I think they saw after he fumbled that they're going to try and get him to fumble again. They were hanging on that ball as he went down.
It is second and goal, as Racers don't have a first down marker to get. It's get in the end zone or bust at this point. Second and goal from about the 9. Handoff fake to Bradford. Burt will fire, looking for Schumar to pass off the hands and incomplete. That was a pretty darn good throw by Burt, but Schumar couldn't pull it in. Good, well defended there by the Bobcats. I think that was Wesley Graham, number 8, was the one who was kind of right on him.
Yeah, I think he heard the footsteps behind him, maybe a little noise behind him, kind of worried about where he's going to get hit on that one. But that was an excellent pass by Burt.
Yeah, it was. Hit him right in the shoulder pad. So now third and goal for the Racers, trying to finish this drive off and get in the end zone. Handoff will go to Bradford up the middle, running between his blockers. Gets inside the 5, and he gets popped. And that'll be fourth and goal, but kind of like what we said earlier, you feel like that's kind of a third down play to set you up for a fourth down, although...
Yeah, I'm looking to see if
it looks like they're bringing Shanuel in. So, yeah, they're going for this. Yeah.
Anytime you see 15 and 77 walking out together.
Well, yeah, where they're making the subs, I thought they bringing like the field goal team out, but no, they got Shanuel in, and they're going to go for this. So fourth and goal for the Racers, trying to punch this in and add to their lead. Shanuel, does he have a third touchdown tonight? Runs over a guy. There's a flag in. He is in for the touchdown, but it might be coming back on the penalty. We'll see.
Just too much yellow tonight. Too much yellow. You know, facing some of our future opponents. They got to get away from that yellow flag.
It is a hold against the Racers, which will wipe out what would have been Shanuel's third touchdown of the night. Instead, it'll be a fourth and much longer and a field goal try for Toby Batchelder.
Which isn't a given in this win. If you look at it, it's a 31-yard field goal.
Yeah, no, it's You're right. I mean, with the way the wind is, it's like the wind is back, so that part won't be an issue, like, distance. But
right. We'll see how it plays with it up in the air.
Yeah. So 31-yard field goal for Toby Batchelder, trying to add on to this Racer lead with under 8 minutes to play in the third. Low snap. Longman just had to eat it. Trying to buy some room. He'll use his speed to do just that. Now he'll fire to the end zone. Pass deflected. He's pinballing around and eventually picked off. Intercepted by the Bobcats inside the 5. I think that was Cooper Allen, number 19, who came up with it. I don't think that was designed. It seemed like the snap was low and he just decided to try and make something happen.
Yeah, I think it slipped when it came down. It came in low and kind of skid up to him. And so he just tried to do something with it. And fortunate that when they got the interception, he stumbled there at the 5-yard line.
Well, I was going to say, too, I hate to be that guy, but if he doesn't intercept it, they get the ball at the 21.
Right.
It was 4th down, so now they're back at their own 5. If he just knocks it down, they're at the 21-yard line, which is where they kicked it from. So from that perspective, it doesn't really hurt you if you're Newcastle. First run here for Place is bottled up, nowhere to go. So a missed opportunity for Newcastle out on their lead, though. They had the short field after the punt and were set up. They actually got into the end zone, but the penalty wipes out, and the snap botched on the field goal. And the Bobcats have the ball back, still down 18.
Well, it looks like the defense is going to have to keep playing them hard, keep them down here by their own end zone. The front line is having some doing really good against their offensive line and getting through to them, so keep an eye on that, see if that kind of bottles things up too.
Approaching the 7-minute mark to play here in the third. Handoff looking for some room here, and there's nowhere to go. Well, he's wrapped up down inside the 1. First time tonight seeing Wyatt Leonard, freshman running back, wearing number 40. I like it. Kind of Mike Allstott type of vibe. Didn't have anywhere to go, though. He was bottled up, and now the Bobcats are really up against it down at their own 1.
That's right, and that was Brady Rice. He got him back there in the backfield, got through the line, got through that hole, and brought him down, and they're giving him the 2.
Yeah, you're right. They've got the 2, so treacherous situation here for the Bridge Creek offense. You want to try and pick this up, obviously, but you go for too much, it could backfire. And they're just going to run up the middle with Morrow, and he just barely gets out of the end zone. So he's bottled up, 3 and out for the Bobcats. Racers do exactly what you need to do in that spot. And that's where, again, you hate to tell a kid don't come up with an interception when you have the opportunity to do it, but it's hard to run offense inside your own 5.
Right.
You just have less room for error. They would have been out near the 20 if that was an incomplete pass, but because he picked it off, they're at the 5, and now they're kind of in a tough spot having to punt out of their own end zone.
Well, and anytime you have a quarterback and his feet are in the black right there, you know that's a concern. So
Ojeda's punt is in the air, wind kind of messing with it again. He'll take a sideways hop and be down at about the 37, 38-yard line or so. So Rangers basically get a do-over from earlier. They're almost in the same spot they were, still up 18 as the midway point of this third quarter nears.
And they need to continue. I mean, if they're going to go through this, through this class and through this division, they're going to have to continue playing well. So they can't let off of anything and just let things go on autopilot. They've got to keep doing better and doing their job better. So wanting to see some of that.
So 1st and 10 for Newcastle. We're going back to Jackson Shanuel. We've seen a lot of this. We've seen Newcastle do this season, work Shanuel in, but it's been close to even snaps tonight. Shanuel's going to take off and run with it, but this is what he does best. And look at the ground he's covering. Inside the 20, down the sideline, break a tackle inside the 15. They're going to say he stepped out there, but it's a big run for Shanuel and back again into that Trinity Restoration red zone.
Well, what's incredible, I don't know if you noticed, it looked like he was barely running.
I know, he just kind of was gliding around.
Right, and still getting away from people. So he has kind of, what do they call that? Just kind of that deceptive speed.
Yeah. So Racers are once again knocking on the door of building onto this lead. Playing the field position game right now, and it's favoring them. Another short field trying to finish it off. 1st and 10. Handoff Bradford up the middle, slicing and dicing his way inside the 5. Looks like he's just short of a first down, but it's going to be 2nd down and real short. And obviously the end zone nearing as well for Newcastle here, trying to add on to this lead.
And they're still playing out there. You saw, one of those blocks continuing till the whistle over here on the right side. So they're playing tough in there. They got to get in the end zone right here.
So second down and called it 1, maybe even less than 1. Shanuel, handoff, Bradford up the middle, and he walks in. Touchdown, Newcastle. T.J. Bradford matches Jackson Shanuel with his second of the night, and the Racers now lead it by 24 at 27-3.
And that was just a good run up the middle. Again, you're watching that offensive line having a lot of success in there. I have a feeling the defensive line's probably getting a little more tired. Looks like they're switching out some people for Newcastle. So they're getting some fresh legs in there. So let's say it, where we normally say is this is a no-brainer. After that last one when he kind of bobbled it, we'll see what happens here.
Spot down for Longman. Extra point is up and through for Batchelder. Extra point is through, and right around the midway point or so, clock is really looking funky right now. It's 28-3, Newcastle on top over the Bridge Creek Bobcats right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Bobcat Stadium. Newcastle on top of Bridge Creek, 28-3 on the Oklahoma Sports Network. If you're an Atlanta Falcons fan like myself, this score is not a fun one to look at. It's
right.
Aesthetically not pleasing. Kickoff is away. It'll be fielded. Actually, it won't be fielded by anybody. It'll bounce. Some miscommunication there. Bounce inside the 5, goes out the end zone. And Bridge Creek will set up on offense with 5 and change to play in the third quarter here at Bobcat Stadium.
And actually the best location for the start their offense they've had in this third quarter.
Right.
So
we'll see what they do.
Yeah.
As Bridge Creek obviously has struggled to move the ball consistently tonight. Had a couple of drives where it was moving okay. But they both stalled out, one time resulting in a field goal. First and 10 at the 20. Hand off to Place. They'll go a little jet sweep action to Lathan McKnight. Breaks a tackle and fights forward for a decent gain, but Newcastle did a pretty good job staying home on that, not getting fooled by the trickeration.
Yeah, that was a reverse right there. That he handed it off to look like a jet sweep, then he hands it going back the other direction. Caught Newcastle over pursuing.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen too often.
So second down coming up. We've talked about this a few times this year, but obviously this is only the second road game for Newcastle this year. The schedule the way it was, very heavy on home games early. We went to Woodward a few weeks ago, not nearly the same length of trip for this one.
No, not at
especially
all.
for you guys. QB right up the middle here with Morrow. Doesn't have anywhere to go. By the way, it is Morrow out there. We saw Bo James at the end of that first half. They've gone back to the youngster Keaton Morrow to start this second half. But we'll be on the road a few more times before season's end. We'll be in Hera next Thursday. Looking forward to that. And then, of course, like we said earlier, we'll finish with 2 road games with Tuttle Bethany, weeks 9 and 10. Quite the way to finish the regular season.
But I tell you what, if Tuttle wins tonight, that's going to make that Tuttle game even more important.
Yep.
So I just wish it was the last game so we'd know what Bethany was.
Sure. The difference between finishing second and third in district is the difference of having a home game in the first round and not. So a lot on the line there. Deep pass here, going to be overthrown and picked off. Rex Heskew fielded it like a punt, and he's going back the other way. Down the sideline, cut back, making guys miss. Still on his feet, cuts back again, and he's tackled inside the 5.
Wow.
Rex Heskew, just like a center fielder catching a fly ball, just tracked it, made the play, and then after that, just athleticism making things happen. The Racers are knocking on the door with more points.
Boy, and he is really fast and can stop on a dime. And I think you saw it right there as he went down the sideline and almost took it back for a pick 6.
So 3:11 to play in the first quarter. Or, geez, Billy, the cold is getting to my brain. Third quarter. And that's where Newcastle will set up as they look to add on. Jackson Burt back in there at QB. Oh, boy, Heavy J is your running back. Heavy J is your running back. He's got it up the middle. He's bottled up.
That was incredible. You had Heavy J run right into number 68, Anthony Enriquez. And I tell you what.
That's the most mass we've seen from two guys combined.
There were almost fireworks coming out from between
them. That was semi-truck on semi-truck.
That was phenomenal.
2nd and goal as Heavy J bottled up. Trey Burchett, the running back, now in there with Jackson Burt. Schumar Longman on the near side. Heskew after the interception on that far side at the top of your screen. Handoff goes to Burchett. Up the middle running hard. And not going to be a lot there. No gain. Maybe a yard. 3rd and goal.
Yeah, they're really stacking up that middle, just kind of throwing bodies down. You can't run through the bodies if they're just laying there and in the way. So I think they're going to have to either come back with a short pass or they're going to have to go around the sides. Maybe one of those passes in the flat.
So we near the 2-minute mark here in this 3rd quarter. Newcastle appearing to be on their way to their 5th win of the year, getting back on track after the loss last week. Burt, wow, the hesitation and the patience on that. Faked the handoff to Burchett, then basically walked in. Touchdown, Jackson Burt, 5th rushing touchdown of the night for the Racers.
And I think, again, we've talked about this as well. You're seeing just how the game is slowing down to him. He, instead of just taking it and running for everything he had, he kind of waited till everything passed by, and then he had an easy walk right into the end zone. That was a really good play by Burt. Good fake there with Burchett. And that's something that they really needed to do, catch them over pursuing.
So the 5th rushing touchdown of the night for Newcastle, also their 3rd from inside the 5. They've been really pounding it in from down close. Extra point is blocked. Great job coming off the edge there. There he is again. Cameron Carlton, the guy you've said a few times tonight, came clean off the edge and blocked that. So the Racers have to settle for a 31-point lead at 34-3.
Boy, he just took off. Once that ball was hiked, he was a blur coming around there to get that block.
Felt like me and Madden. Like you just put the guy on the edge and try to see if you can get there. It's very hard to get there, but he just did it in real life.
Yeah, he did.
So the extra point's blocked. Newcastle leads at 34-3. How long is it, Carson? 1:53? 1:53 to play in the quarter. The public address is doing a nice job here of saying it over the over the loudspeaker because the clock has been malfunctioning throughout the night. They said we talked about it at halftime. They said wind playing a factor. It's very breezy.
Short the wire.
And Carson and I kind of noted in pregame, we were kind of standing around just kind of chatting, that it was really swaying in the breeze. So.
Well, and we got to do a shout-out. Monty and Courtney Lovelace, he's the announcer. You'll hear him in the background. They did a good job getting us a good area up here where we could be a part of this game, and just have been great tonight.
Shout out to Coach Larry Spangler as well. Helped make the accommodations here. I talked to him on the phone earlier this week. Very nice man, obviously, and building a program here basically from scratch, essentially, when he took over. And thanks to him getting us set up and everything over here. Very accommodating, kind of said, hey, he was like, you guys go up here, you go here. He was kind of whatever works best for you guys, and I always appreciate that. So, So kickoff goes through the end zone. British Creek will start back over after the touchback. 34-3 Racer lead, and obviously we've said this a few times, but most people probably know by now. But in case you don't, district play, when it comes to the playoffs, standings are determined by point differential, so it's important to make sure you win when you can by as much as you can. Now it caps at 15, so Newcastle seems to be in good shape in that area, but there is something to be said for winning and winning convincingly. That does reward you in high school football, to take care of business, not just skate by, but to take care of business. That's what Newcastle's doing right now. Handoff to Lathan McKnight. Comes around the right side. Decent little pickup of about 5. He's very speedy.
He is. He kind of reminds me a lot of T.J. Bradford. You see him, he kind of ducks down, you lose him behind the line, then he pops out and very fast, much like Bradford is as well.
You know what else is about with like Bradford? Just a sophomore, just a young player. So maybe somebody that we'll be able to watch and see how he gets better, just like Bradford over the next couple of years. But it's been a fun playmaker to watch tonight for the Bobcats. 1:18 to play here in the third. The wind has calmed down a little. It's still breezy, but not quite to the level it was in the first half. Handoff goes to McKnight again. He'll turn and get it around the outside.
Made the corner.
Wow, he's still in bounds. I thought he went out of bounds, but he stayed in, tiptoed, ended up getting a good gain out of that, and getting a first down. Was eventually ran down and tackled there by number 52 for the Racers, which is Ricardo Chavira.
And that's impressive. I mean, when you're talking about football and he gets tackled way downfield, 15 yards downfield by a defensive lineman.
Right.
So that is something that's incredible as well.
Under a minute now to play in the third. Morrow, keep feeding him. More late than McKnight. Bounce outside. Look at how shifty he is.
Wow, he's good.
Gets a couple there. I mean, there was nothing there, but he's just so kind of way he can move around and stop and start really quickly. It's kind of like I'd say a high school football version of kind of Christian McCaffrey, the way he kind of runs around, kind of just slips behind, kind of finds the lanes, little pockets of space.
Well, with his feet going like that, his feet never stopping, the defensive guy is almost afraid to commit to any kind of move because he'll just run around you. Let's see if they hand it off again.
Final play of the quarter. They don't have to snap it. They may not. And it looks like they will not. So that's going to end the third quarter here. Newcastle well on their way in this one. After 3, it's the Racers 34, the Bobcats 3. Fourth quarter coming up next on the other side of this break on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
So that's Will, and that's Tim. And the farm has been in the family now how long, Tim?
100 years or so.
You stopped counting?
Yes.
The idea that 1.5% of this country is feeding 330 million people 3 times a day.
You shut down a lot of oil and gas, you shut down a lot of U.S. ag. All of a sudden, we start paying a lot more for food, and there's a lot more hungry people all over the world.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
Back here at Bobcat Stadium, home of the Bridge Creek Bobcats. Josh Calloway, Billy Collier with you on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Carson Way on the production. Uriah Martinez up top, working the camera on a cold, windy night. In Blanchard, Newcastle well on their way, up 34-3. QB keeper for the young quarterback, Keaton Morrow. Runs around the right side, not a whole lot of room there. Just starting the fourth quarter here on OSN. Thankful for everybody tuning in tonight. Newcastle, a 4-0 start to their season. Lost last week to Blanchard, their first loss of the year, but back on track tonight, taking care of business and obviously eyeballing and seeming to be well on their way to their 5th win of the year.
Yeah, they needed a game like this tonight. They needed to come out, play well. Again, too many penalties. We'll talk about that more later, but they needed a game like this.
Third down and about 7. Morrow will keep it. Oh, got hit pretty good there. Gets another yard or so. And so now you got 4th down and 6.
No, he's not getting
ish.
A little slow getting up.
So that was a pretty good hit.
Yeah.
I didn't see who it was for the Racers that got in there, laid the boom. A lot of bodies in there, but
yeah, he went straight down. I mean, straight down hard.
No, it was quick. Yeah, hit the ground hard. So he's helped off. Got up quickly, but a little in some discomfort. So 4th down for the Bobcats. Obviously down big, 11-10 to go. We'll see if they elect to go for it and just go ahead and punt.
Well, and it looks like, I'm not sure. I thought he had to come out. Well, no, it'd be number 13. That was the quarterback. So.
And they are going to go ahead and punt. They got Ojeda out there to do the honors. So Bridge Creek will give the football back. Caden Longman back to return the punt. Feet on the 20-yard line. Ojeda, high punt. Got off the side of the foot a little, but not a bad one. Bounces about the 30-yard line and will roll. Take a Bridge Creek hop inside the 25. And the Racers will take over at their own 24. As the Racer offense gets out there, thank our fourth quarter sponsor, which is OEC, the Oklahoma Electric Cooperative, taking high-speed fiber where no one else will. No contracts, no fees, just a good connection, bringing you the power of high-speed fiber services to your door. Check them out at oecfiber.com.
It looks like down here on the sideline they're warming up another quarterback, number 9 there. I don't see who
That's
that
Bo
is.
James. We saw him earlier for a bit.
They're warming him up, so he may be going in here in a second.
It's still Burt and Bradford for the Racers, and here is Bradford bobbing his way through. Now look at this, just carrying his way. Well, T.J. Bradford gets down about the 30. If you watch, the Racers regularly, if you've been with us all season hanging out on Friday nights, he is not the biggest guy, but man, is he tough to bring down. The first guy, he always falls forward. It's really amazing how powerful of a runner he is, considering he's just not that big. You know?
Right.
I mean, it's.
Well, I saw him on the coaches show. When he walks up, I mean, he's just there's not a lot of fat, if any, right there with him, and he is bulked up. I think since last year, he's got a lot more muscle on him. I think they said there might have been a flag here, so.
I didn't see it come out, but yeah, you're right. There's been kind of a little bit of a delay. Oh, now they're waving it off. Okay, change their mind. We had a lot of yellow hankies in the first half. Hasn't been quite to that level in the second half so far. Still got, obviously, most of this fourth quarter to go.
Well, and I'm just glad they didn't have the pink flags. You know, they're having the pink out tonight, and I know they've done that in the past.
They can be challenging.
They are very
They can be challenging, especially because a lot of these guys wear pink. You know, you can see number for Bridge Creek's the defensive guys with pink socks and whatever. Hand off to Bradford up the middle. Oh, look at this. Wow. He bounces outside. T.J. Bradford, how did he pull that off? Houdini down to the 45.
That was a great run, and he just was stacked up, and a guy pushing him backwards, and he just kind of shifted sideways and kept going.
It's another instance, too. You kind of mentioned it earlier, of him kind of almost like hiding. He kind of runs behind a couple of his guys. He's so low to the ground. And then all of a sudden he just spurts out from one side. I think the defenders lose sight on him sometimes. Happened there. Down to the 45. Burt going to fire deep. Looking for a man. He's got Jordan Lane down there. Incomplete. Got caught up in that wind a little bit, I think. It seemed like it kind of just died. There is a flag down as well.
There's a flag down there at the 33, so we'll see what that is. Looked like number 5 over there, Carlton, was upset, maybe on him, maybe grabbed him on the way or something. But we'll see what the call is.
It is going to go against the Bobcats, defensive hold.
And boy, that ball did stay up there in the air for a while, didn't it? Just like
Lane got behind his man, and Burt kind of just threw him a big, majestic ball down the seam, but yeah, it kind of got up there and just fell like it was dropped from a plane.
Right.
So the penalty, though, does give, obviously, Newcastle a first down up to the Bridge Creek 45. So they switch 45s. As we're under 10 minutes to play. Handoff up the middle here. This is Burchett, left side, running hard. Big collision, and he drives forward for a few extra. He's near another first down.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be about a yard short, but you saw him right there. You can see that very well on camera.
Actually, they gave it to him. First down.
Oh, wow.
The sticks are moving.
But he ran right into the defensive guy and just moved him backwards. And then by that time, everybody joins in. It turns into a rugby match. But he hit him and drove him backwards. That's a good run.
No, it is second down. Okay, that makes more sense. They were moving, and then they changed their mind. Handoff goes to Jordan Lane up the right side. He'll get the first down. I was confused for a second because they were definitely at the 45, and then they were at the 36, and I was thinking, how did they give him a first down on that? But they didn't. They changed their mind. So that was second down. Now it's first down after the run by Jordan Lane. Racers on the move here, and it's been the run game tonight, obviously. On a very windy night, we've seen Burt have a couple nice passes, but for the most part, it's been a very run-heavy offense, as you would think, and it's worked for the Racers. I mean, they're knocking on the door with 40 Burger almost exclusively through the run. First and 10. Burt will pass here, and it's caught up the side. Oh, I spoke too soon. In and out of the hands of the intended target. I think that was big Antonio Brown, 88, I think.
I think so. Let's see here. I can't really tell.
I think that's who that was. Yeah, 88, Antonio Brown.
Well, and it was there, and he was right there at the first down sticks. I'm surprised that they're passing like this into the wind, but it's looking good.
So incomplete pass makes it 2nd and 10. Wind has kicked back up a little bit. Burt, QB keeper up the middle, going right down the middle of Bridge Creek's defense. That's going to big gain, another first down to the 20. Another trip into the Trinity Restoration red zone as Newcastle knocking on the door of adding more points to the board.
And they're going that hurry up. That's good. I'm happy about that out here.
About the 20-yard line, first down.
8:15 to play. Hand off to Bradford again. Cuts back to his right side. Bounce outside. Big stiff arm. We got a penalty flag flying in. Meanwhile, Bradford's running through guys again for another first down. Well, we'll see what the flags are. There's a couple.
It looks like it's there in Holdville. Yeah.
Holding against the Racers.
Yep, and there's a hold on Newcastle. Wipes out the hard-nosed run for T.J. Bradford.
And he is. He's running hard tonight. That's what I like about him. Talking to him, you can really see the determination that he has. He's a determined runner. Does not want to be stopped. And I bet he's pushing about 140 yards tonight. Just in little pickups. What do you think?
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, he's felt like he's picked up about 10 yards or so almost every time he's touched the ball. So, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all to see his final yardage total from tonight be a pretty healthy one.
But you saw it that last time.
So we got a face mask on Bridge Creek here and a hold on Newcastle. So penalties on both ways. They offset. And it'll just remain what it was before, which is 1st and 10.
Wow.
8:08 to go. Stick with us, of course, after the game. Billy and I will wrap things up here from Bobcat Stadium. We'll give out our Precision Realty Player of the Game Award. And we'll peer ahead to Thursday Night Football next week with Newcastle and Hera on the Oklahoma Sports Network. 1st and 10. Burt back to pass. Bounces out to the right. Pressure. He spins away from it. Turnaround. Fire.
Oh.
Picked off. Intercepted by Ryan Place, who comes up a little bit, banged up after that. Circus catch. It was a heck of an effort by Burt to shake off the defender, spun around and then threw a seed over the middle of the field, but Place got a hand on it and kind of tipped it to himself and came down with the interception. So the turnover, and the Bobcats get the ball back with 7:41 to go.
And he was wide open. I think before he did that spin around to yank out of that sack, he was wide open, but by the time he got turned back around, there were 2 defenders right there on him.
Remaining in the corner.
So the turnover. Been a tough night for passing. I mean, and we anybody could speculate that. We did so in the pregame show on a really windy night here at Bobcat Stadium. And a turnover there. Bridge Creek gets it back inside their own 10. It is Bo James at quarterback. Keaton Morrow, you can see him. You can't quite see him on the camera shot, but he's on the sideline here without a helmet, kind of standing. Hand off here around the left side for a short gain.
Goes to Dylan Shirley.
Dylan Shirley on the carry.
And I think if they're going to have any success, they're going to have to go around the sides. They're not going to have much up front. You got the big boys down there, 55, 77, 75, and 52. They're not going to let much get through there. They've done a really good job. I know we don't say them enough, but they've done a real good job just crowding up that middle and not letting much through.
That's a good point. 2nd down and long. Handoff will go to McKnight around the right side. Does a good job to break a tackle. He's down the sideline. Lathan McKnight showing off that speed. Big hit from Jordan Lane. Stays on his feet, and he's wrapped up and tackled just past the 45. But that's a huge gain. Yeah, you're right, Billy. I didn't even see it. The ball came out, and the Racers come up with it. I didn't even see that. The ball scored free on that big hit by Jordan Lane, and the Racers come up with it. So a turnover.
Well, when he cut back, Jordan Lane cut back with him, and they just went chest to chest, and it looked like Jordan Lane just pulled the ball right out of his arms.
We mentioned it right at the top of the broadcast. We're probably as low, and now a really late flag coming, I think probably from some shouting from the Bridge Creek sideline. And now a hat. Do you see how high in the air? And he ejected. And we've got an ejection, so that escalated quickly. You see how high the official threw his hat in the air? It was like above the press box so much it was so high. So an ejection here. I'm not sure who that is that just got tossed for the Bobcats. I don't want to speculate on a name or anything. I can't tell from here. So an ejection for it is a coach. I can tell you that. It's not a player. Got ejected for Bridge Creek after that big hit and fumble. For the finish, I thought I was saying before, we mentioned at the top that we're as low as probably anywhere that we've broadcasted from in our 4 years doing this. And so that was kind of right. He got hit right in front of the bodies there. I couldn't really see the ball squirt free.
Right, yeah, like I said, it just looked like they were chest to chest, and then they backed away from each other, and I saw Jordan Lane running away from him. So that was quite interesting, and you're right. It's good being up high. I like that, even when I go to OU games and stuff, to be up high where you can see kind of holes opening and stuff. But this is kind of a difficult angle to see things.
Well, there's kind of a happy medium because remember, we haven't been there in a while, but when we go to Weatherford, you're in like the sky there.
Yeah.
It's like the bleachers. We're climbing up the bleachers for hours basically to get up to the press box there. So that's
right. Working through nosebleeds.
It's a give and take.
Need oxygen.
So after all the penalties here and the turnover, the race is going to be set up back in business. So once again, kind of like we were saying earlier, a bit of a do-over here for Burt and this offense, trying to take advantage of the short field and get to that 40 plateau.
And I'm with you. I don't want to speculate what happened, but there was some things that were not
happy. It was on the hit. Yeah, it was on the hit. There was some frustration. I'm not sure exactly what put the hit. Maybe it was a little up high. I don't know. But it was after that hit and fumble. There was some immediate frustration from the Bridge Creek sideline. Got to say I'm a little jealous whatever coach that was that did get ejected because he's warm now. Here's Daniel handing off to Bradford around the outside. TJ Bradford down the sideline looking for the pylon. And he's knocked out. No, he's in. Touchdown Bradford. Third of the night from 19 yards out. TJ Bradford once again stuffing the stat sheet.
Wow. And he's just showing, I think he's making a statement to the rest of the division just how difficult he is to bring down. So that was great. Run around that end. Good speed, good eyes. He's really developed that even more than last year. He can see something faster and move in that direction with a lot more speed. So that was a good job.
So TJ Bradford again. A big night for him. 3 rushing touchdowns. The extra point is doinked off the upright. And so the special teams has been a bit tough tonight. Obviously the wind and the weather playing a part in that. So the touchdown for Bradford, his third. The Racers have 6 rushing scores in this game. And with 6:34 to play at Bobcat Stadium, it's Newcastle 40, Bridge Creek 3 on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
When it comes to your home, you need someone that you can trust to keep it safe and protected for you and your family.
Vesta Foundation Solutions is your local, family-owned company that has helped many homeowners fix and protect their homes.
Our engineered solutions can take care of all of your foundation repair, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and dirt crawl space repair needs.
We take pride in getting the job done right, and you'll always be protected with up to a 75-year warranty.
Contact us today for a free estimate.
Back to Bobcat Stadium on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Newcastle well on their way to a 5th win of the season, 40-3 on top of the Bridge Creek Bobcats. TJ Bradford, 3rd rushing touchdown of the night. He continues to just put up some big numbers. And I'll tell you what, Billy, we're getting to the point where we need to start his season numbers, especially in terms of just total touchdowns, is getting high. I mean, this guy's scoring multiple touchdowns every week. I don't know what the single-season Newcastle record is. Now, here comes another late flag thrown in there.
Wow.
I don't know what the single-season Newcastle rushing touchdowns record is, but he's got to be giving it a run for its money. He's getting
Very
2-3
close.
every week.
As a sophomore.
As a sophomore.
So you imagine his all-time touchdowns by the time he graduates is going to be up there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Career, if you want to look ahead like that far. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So the penalty was way after the play was over. It was something that somebody said. There was no late hits or anything that I saw, at least.
Yeah, they're marching it back there. Maybe a chance to calm people down, you know.
Yeah, it looks like it was on the Bobcats again. Maybe a little bit of frustration.
It looks like
boiling over for Bridge Creek, obviously. A tough loss tonight.
Well, and we are all Tri-City neighbors. But when you step on the field, we want to beat our Tri-City neighbors.
Yeah, I can see that.
You saw that last week.
Yep.
So
here comes the Bridge Creek offense again. Bo James at quarterback. Newcastle firmly out in front, 40-3. James will keep it around the right side, trying to find some space, and he'll run out of bounds at about the 15-yard line or so.
Yeah, again, you saw that good speed. That was a good job there by Grady Downing. Good speed going sideways, working himself off a couple of blocks, and was able to get there and get him out of bounds. But it is a good gain of 5.
Second down and 6.
As we crawl toward the midway point of this fourth quarter. We'll be back with you next Thursday night football. Excited for that. Newcastle and Hera on the Oklahoma Sports Network. On this 10-game Friday night on OSF. Handoff goes to McKnight again. He's been their best offensive weapon tonight. And look, here he is again,
going.
bouncing outside. Big game for McKnight and a first down.
Oh, wow.
Lathan McKnight, this guy is electric to watch. Just a sophomore. Going to be a fun one to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. Really good. And again, like I told you, who he reminds me of. But that's good. But also, if you notice, there were about 3 or 4 blockers right down there beside him, still hitting people to give him yards. So that was a good job by the blockers as well, getting downfield.
Yeah. It's gone final in Blanchard, 20-6. The Lions beat Tuttle tonight. That was 6-0 at halftime in favor of Tuttle. Very interesting final score. McKnight to run up the middle. So what do you make of that, Billy? Blanchard taking Tuttle down by 14. That's huge. The Lions managed to beat Newcastle by 15 and Tuttle by 14. That almost all but locks in Blanchard to the #1 spot in the district, barring some upsets.
It's the same thing you saw last week. I mean, it was really close, and at the end of the game, Blanchard just pulls out a couple of touchdowns and jumps up by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
so.
They are clearly showing that they are a formidable force, period, but especially in the second half and fourth quarter of games. Yes. That coaching staff and that team is doing the most in the fourth quarter. 6-0 Tuttle at half, 20-6 Blanchard final. Very interesting score there.
Very interesting. Oh,
jet sweep, and it's blown up. The little pitch play and blowing that thing up in the backfield for the Racers was number 20, Preston Scagnetti.
Wow.
Freshman. I don't think we've said that name this year. He came in and made a big play there.
He was a ghost getting through the line there. It just looked like he ran completely through a couple of people. But he got him back there, and that was a big loss. That's a loss of 5.
4 minutes remaining.
They run under 4 minutes to play here at Bobcat Stadium. Obviously, there's still a long ways to go, too, but that Tuttle-Blanchard game puts even more emphasis on when Newcastle and Tuttle play. Oh, my! Just flattened his man just shy of the 30-yard line.
That's Grady Downing.
That's Grady Downing. And, boy, these Racers are laying the boom.
Yeah, that was a hard hit. I'm glad he helped him up.
Oh, man.
He may have had to tell him what day it was and who was the president.
Holy moly.
Helping him up.
So after that short gain, he did hang on to the ball. Credit for that.
Yeah.
It'll be 4th down and long as we close down on that 3-minute mark. Burt Treacle punt. Ojeda back there to boot it away. Nice snap. Ojeda does a good job to pull it in, though, and boots it. Off the hands of Longman, it's loose and recovered by the Bobcats at the 15. So Longman boots the punt.
There he is.
And then flying in once again,
Mr.
Cameron Carlton making the play for the Bobcats on special teams to recover it. And now Bridge Creek is set up in the red zone trying to get themselves into the end zone.
Wow, that was just a mistake. You know, you're wanting to do a little too much.
Yeah,
you got Caden Longman wanting to get that, wanting to do
it's
something
always
with
tough,
it.
yeah, when the punt is over your head and you're running back trying to make a play on it. That can be really tough.
Yeah.
And so he can't haul it in. And a good hustle by Carlton, like the only guy running down there. And he made the play on it. So Bridge Creek set up in the red zone, trying to get themselves into the end zone for the first time tonight. James, hand off to McKnight, bounce outside. Nowhere to really go. A couple of racers in there, blowing that play up.
Yeah, they're trying to punish him.
I think I saw Ian Barker in there, number 3.
Yeah,
among others.
Yeah, I think he was slowing him down, making him have to go a lot more lateral than he wanted to, and there was no gain on that. That's amazing, no gain.
Can Bridge Creek find a way to crack that end zone for the first time? Or will Newcastle stiffen up and hold them out? Second down. Handoff is fake. James will keep it. Right side, runs into a brick wall and planted backwards. That's Downing again.
I tell you what, Downing's making himself known tonight.
Yeah, especially in these late stages here. He's laying a couple of hit stick plays.
Yeah, junior, so he'll be there for another year. But he is definitely making himself known in there. I can't tell, is he linebacker or is he defensive end?
I think he's kind of roaming around as more of a linebacker. Under 2 minutes to play, by the way, here at Bobcat Stadium. Third down. James, handoff to McKnight, bounce outside, nowhere to go. He breaks one tackle, but there's a swarm there, breaks another one. Lathan McKnight making things happen, razzle-dazzle, but he can only do it for so long. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. Boy, that they made a couple guys miss on that.
Well, that was impressive. I was worried there were going to be too many Newcastle players in the backfield, and if he kept his feet, he may get into the end zone. Giving him a well-deserved rest there.
Battle forward for about 10 yards to not actually gain any. So here we go again with Ojeda. They're going to try the field goal. We saw Ojeda bang through the chip shot earlier as we run under the final minute here. So what he does here, Ojeda, spot down from James, kick is up. Boy, that was a good-looking kick. Missed it, though, wide left. Had like the perfect trajectory, just looked right, but he missed it wide left. So Ojeda misses, and with 50 seconds to go, the Racers will take back over, and they can bleed this clock out and send us all home into some warmth.
Well, and you to Texas.
Me to Texas. So, Dallas, Texas. So the Racers will take over. Again, stick with us after the game. Bill and I will give a quick post-game thoughts on this one. And our Elcision Realty Player of the Game Award, of course. And we'll also peer ahead to next Thursday, Newcastle and Hera on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Shane will in a quarterback to do the honors. He'll kneel it down. They're going to have to snap it one more time. But then that'll be all she wrote after that.
40 seconds
6 rushing touchdowns for the Racers tonight. It was all ground and pound on this cold, windy night, as you would expect.
Well, and the wind playing havoc. You know, we mentioned before the game how neat it would be to have a kickoff, you know, between the two kickers.
Kicker off.
But this wind has really messed with both of them. It's
Yeah,
just
it
a
has.
strong, strong wind.
So one more kneel and that'll be it. Shaniel gets it. He sits on it. And that is your ball game. The Newcastle Racers take care of business. They beat the Bridge Creek Bobcats 40-3 to improve to 5-1 on the season. Bridge Creek falls down to 500 at 3-3. We'll take one last final timeout here. We'll come back. Bill and I will wrap it all up with our final thoughts. The Elcision Realty Player of the Game Award. And, of course, we'll peer ahead to next week. Post-game show next on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
It's no secret that life is busy and you have a million things on your to-do list. Here at Community Bank of Oklahoma, we've made banking simple again. We can help you get to the important things in life, like the big game tonight.
We do all the heavy lifting, so you don't have to.
Race towards us at Community Bank of Oklahoma, because we wouldn't be a community without you.
So that's Will, and that's Tim. And the farm has been in the family now how long, Tim?
100 years or so.
You stopped counting?
Yes.
The idea that 1.5% of this country is feeding 330 million people 3 times a day.
You shut down a lot of oil and gas, you shut down a lot of U.S. ag. All of a sudden, we start paying a lot more for food, and there's a lot more hungry people all over the world.
All right, back at Bobcat Stadium, wrapping things up. We lost picture there right at the tail end. Obviously, the game was over. It was on the very last snap. So we apologize for that. Obviously, not missing anything, although there is kind of a light show going on right now.
Yeah.
They're flexing the lights right now here at Bobcat Stadium. But we're wrapping things up. Newcastle wins it 40-3. We thank you so much for tuning in. Billy, final thoughts on this one. Obviously, Racers took care of business.
Yes.
They couldn't really throw the ball tonight. It was cold and windy, but they just ran for 6 touchdowns. No biggie.
Well, and I think the weather caught everybody off guard. But
yeah,
I think
us included.
They did what they needed to do. They won the game. Still concerned about the penalties, when they're happening and what's taking place there. Some things they need to focus on there. Still some holding. But they won the game. They played it well and just got things done. So that's what I would say about tonight is the weather affected everybody, kind of became that 12th player. But I think that they did a good job and just need to work on some of those penalties.
100%. We promised we're trying to spread the love with the Alcision Realty Player of the Game award, but for the 3rd time this year, we're going to TJ Bradford. 3 rushing touchdowns tonight. Absolutely racked up the yards. Had several big hits on defense as well.
Yeah.
We're trying to spread. I was thinking this will probably be Jackson Shaniel. He had 2 tutties, but then Bradford went for 2 more, and he took it. No pun intended, he ran away with it. TJ Bradford, Alcision Realty Player of the Game. Boomer and Tiffany Alcision of the Tiffany team, your local realtors with Prime Realty. Go Racers. But yeah, Billy, I mean, TJ Bradford continues to be absolutely sensational. And even, he was really good. And then Carson Bolster goes down for the season, and there's more pressure on Bradford's shoulders. It's just a sophomore, and he's excelling. He's getting better and better every week. He's been so good for the Racers. They're a really good team, but you wonder where they'd be without him, especially offensively, the way he's running the ball.
Well, and he's just getting that confidence going. You see the confidence every time he runs. He's not worried about getting stopped. He's not worried about anything like that. He's going to just run and make you have to just exert yourself to get him to stop. So it was a great job tonight by him, over 100 yards easily. Just a good run, good determination on his part, and really impressive. He's just a sophomore and getting the confidence and doing as well as he is.
Next week, Newcastle, Hara, Thursday night football. It'll be normal time, 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock kick. We'll be making the trip over there to Hara, Oklahoma, another new place for us on OSN. Early thoughts. Obviously, it's another team that Newcastle will be a heavy favorite against. Hara's considered one of the lower teams in this district. It feels like more of the same, where if Newcastle just goes and does their thing, comes in locked in, they should be all right.
Yep.
We'll see what happens on Thursday.
Well, and I think as Coach Blue says, we got to improve on what we do, and that's what our focus is on. That's what he said after last week's game and all. So I think that's one thing they need to do. Next week, on paper, they should easily win against Herod. No disrespect to them.
Right.
However, they need to improve on some of the things because as the last 2 games, you talked about it, Tuttle and Bethany, that's going to be the deciding factor right there on a home game.
So these games are going to be huge the next 2 weeks. to make sure you take care of your business, you button things up, and then you're ready for those 2 big games to end the regular season.
Right, and like you mentioned earlier, Blanchard and Tuttle. Blanchard beating them by 14, beating
that
us by
opens
15.
the door. That's actually better
Absolutely.
for Newcastle because you already lost to Blanchard, so you kind of accept that, okay, they're going to get above us. They're going to be number 1.
Yeah.
But now Tuttle has their loss. So if you can beat Tuttle head-to-head, you'll have a whole game on them, plus the head-to-head win, the point differential difference that'll make. So, yeah, the door is open for Newcastle.
Right.
They just got to continue to build on it.
Absolutely.
All right, we're cold. Let's get out of here. Newcastle wins it 40-3. They roll over the Bridge Creek tonight at Bobcat Stadium. We'll be back Thursday night, 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock kick for Newcastle and Hera. Right back here, same place, same time on the Oklahoma Sports Network. For Uriah Martinez up top working the camera, Carson Wade on the production, my partner Billy Collier, I'm Josh Calloway. Signing off from Bobcat Stadium in Blanchard, Oklahoma. Newcastle goes to 5-1. They roll over Bridge Creek 40-3 tonight right here on OSN. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next Thursday from Hera.
Thanks for watching this presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.